challenge the president's authority to do that. Essential government services will continue from Social Security payments to law enforcement to airport security, though those federal workers doing those essential jobs won't get paid until the shutdown ends and there's finally funding. Same for military service members. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth addressed a big gathering of top commanders.
We became the woke department, but not anymore.
Telling the military leaders in Quantico, Virginia, it's time to get rid of ideological garbage.
No more identity months, DEI offices, dudes in dresses.
Issuing a 10-part directive to raise training standards, telling any of the generals and admirals if they disagree with the changes, they should resign. President Trump, in his address to the group, raised eyebrows, suggesting the military should train in dangerous cities he wants to deploy more troops to, like Chicago, to fight crime and what he called the enemy from within. America's listening to Fox News.
It's Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and LifeLock is here with tips to help protect your identity. Use strong passwords, set up multi-factor authentication on your accounts, report phishing, and update your software on all your devices. And for comprehensive identity protection, LifeLock is your best choice. LifeLock not only alerts you to suspicious uses of your personal information, but also fixes identity theft, guaranteed, or your money back. So stay smart, stay safe, and stay protected with a 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use the promo code BECK. Terms do apply.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com, because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, E-T-H-O-S, ethos.com/Mike.
WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. This hour is presented by Subaru of Gwinnett. You'll love the difference. The Morning Xtra, only on Xtra 106.3.
Morning, y'all. Tug and Los until 10. Everybody in this room is fit. Everybody in this...
At least for this duty.
That's right, we are.
There is no issue involved. Everyone fits through the door. Everyone gets here on time. Nobody has a problem with the parking garage.
Yep.
Our standards, while not at the same level as military...
Which they don't need to be.
But if you don't have narcolepsy and you don't have a hardcore drug problem, you got a good chance of being in this studio.
And being successful.
Right.
That's right.
Them's our standards.
That's right. And we welcome you to tell us about the standards that you have. 404-741-1230 at Extra 106.3 across the social media platforms. If you're in law enforcement, probably have to need some standards there. Not that everybody meets them, because I've seen some people in law enforcement that didn't probably meet the standards that they need to. In the military, however, those days are a-changing.
What a lot of fun was yesterday.
Dude, it was so awesome.
That was
God, maybe I want to put my Cracker Jacks back on.
I really enjoyed hearing, and Pete Hegseth brought it up as our Secretary of War. He brought it up. The meritocracy is returning to all aspects of American life. And as the head of the military, he's like, it's also going to be here. This is going to be part of what we should expect and what we should hold a higher standard to. I have a great deal of respect for the fact that Jure signed the dotted line, you signed the dotted line, knowing that it wasn't just about service to your country. It was, I have to keep up a physical standard as part of this.
Yep.
You guys have already made that commitment. It's part of your lives. I guess I'm just used to it from being an athlete, but then at the same time, to watch my daughters as they play sports, there is a physical standard that you see as the difference between some clubs and some other clubs. And so if we want to have access to these other opportunities, there has to be a physical standard. The idea that that's been rejected within this country, what did we went through? You can be healthy at all sizes. No, you can't.
No.
No, you can't. An opportunity in the military should be tied to a certain level of meritocracy and a certain level of standards.
That's exactly right. You have to at least care, right? You have to care. You have to want to achieve those.
Just pretend.
Yeah.
Fool me.
That's right.
I'm not saying everybody's got to have a six-pack.
No, right. But at least care about what is being presented to you and the standard that is maintained. You must care about that standard. You must care about why that standard is in place, and you must care about yourself enough to meet that standard. I saw it yesterday watching baseball, man. Those dudes aren't like crazy out of shape dudes.
No.
And baseball's
no.
not the most physical of sports.
No, you get into a clubhouse and it'll become very apparent to you that the baseball uniform doesn't actually show how great a shape most of these guys are in. Now, granted, you're going to have the catchers and occasional guys in the bullpen where you go, okay, he looks a little bit more like dad. Ain't a lot of them.
No, you're exactly right. And you can't be. You have to be physically fit enough to perform the job in the field. Playing at 162, dude. I mean, good heavens, that wear and tear on your body. If you're not in shape, it's going to show up immediately.
But I guess it's different for whatever classification, whatever level of professionalism, whatever you go into. Like, for instance, if I hire an attorney because I've gotten in some sort of issue, man, if he's the best attorney in town, he's 300 pounds, but he's the most brilliant guy, okay, I've hired Matlock and I got what I need.
That's right.
All right, because that standard is different when it comes to that.
We didn't ask him to run to the courthouse.
No, not at all. If I have a knee issue and I'm going to have to be put under, I want the doctor who happens to be the sharpest, has the best scores, ends up performing. I hope that guy drives a Maserati when he pulls up. Okay, like I want everything.
And he's proud of it.
Yes, I want him. Now, is there a problem with the fact that, I don't know, he's missing a toe from a foot injury? No, okay, I don't have a problem here.
Yeah.
But the military is different because the military, especially what Pete Hegseth was bringing up, and this is what got lost by so much of the media, the talking heads and the digital influencers. He was talking a lot about combat units and the physical standard and the emotional standard. No more no more men in dresses, as he put it.
That was my favorite line of the whole thing. We're not doing this anymore.
No more boys in women's clothing.
That's exactly right, because it's absolutely ridiculous.
Because there is a mental situation there.
And you have to be able to do it. If you're a firefighter going into a burning home and there's someone there that you physically can't get out because you're not strong enough to do it, you can't be a firefighter. You can't perform that job. It's life or death.
It's part of when we have done our tours and we have gone to different firehouses, part of the training when they are starting out this process of seeing whether or not these trainees can become actual firefighters, the physical stuff they put them through. Can you get this hose from this point to this point? Can you carry this sort of weight in and out of a room? Can you pick up this sort of weight, get it onto your shoulder, and firemen's carry out of it here? Because you don't know when the situation's going to call for you to have to grab a 180, 220-pound person, put them on your shoulder, and get them out of a situation. And if you can't do it, are we supposed to suddenly say sorry?
Sorry, I can't get you out of here. You're just going to have to dive, smoke inhalation, and then burn up. That's what you're telling me?
Because that was the California standard we were told about during their fires. We were like, wait a minute, how do you have all of these women that are in these positions where they're on these fire crews? Again, I don't have a problem. I got daughters. I love the idea that one day maybe one of them, maybe two of them might go to a service academy and then have a long military career. But it won't be on the front lines, and it won't be about carrying soldiers out of combat. That's not what the role is supposed to be. That's what Pete Hegseth was talking about. This isn't about removing women from the military. It's about creating a standard by which, if you're serving in combat, you need to have a particular set of standards, and it does set itself up for a male set of standards.
I want you to hear from Pete Hegseth. It's just common sense standards.
When it comes to combat arms units, and there are many different stripes across our joint force, the era of politically correct, overly sensitive, don't hurt anyone's feelings leadership ends right now.
Let's go.
At every level, either you can meet the standard, either you can do the job, either you are disciplined, fit, and trained, or you are out. And that's why today, at my direction, and this is the first of 10 Department of War directives that are arriving at your commands as we speak and in your inbox. Today, at my direction, each service will ensure that every requirement for every combat MOS, for every designated combat arms position, returns to the highest male standard only. Because this job is life or death. Standards must be met. And not just met, at every level we should seek to exceed the standard, to push the envelope, to compete. It's common sense and core to who we are and what we do. It should be in our DNA.
I love when he said, we shouldn't just meet the standard. We're going to exceed it. This is the minimum. We want to exceed it. We want to be better than the standard. I remember telling my kid, because you brought up athletics, and I think there's such a parallel between meritocracy and military and athletics. I used to tell my son when, he'd be sitting in the house watching TV and he'd be telling me how he wanted to play baseball in college. I was like, you're watching TV. What do you mean you want to play baseball in college? And then he was 8, 10, 12, 13. I was like, do you realize right now someone is out there taking cuts? Someone's out there fielding. Someone's not sitting on the couch watching TV. It's up to you. I'm not telling you should go do it. I'm just telling you, if you want to do it, you have to beat the guy that's out there training right now.
I love the idea that Pete Hegseth brought up when he talked about a physical standard, because part of what we've been trying to do, we've seen that the military recruitment numbers are up across the board, that you now have young men, young women that are interested in, once again, participating in the military. And especially as we talked about it, and he brought it up in there too, the attack that you had from DEI on young white men, that you had to go to a military that said there was something wrong with you to start with. Okay, that's over with. Like, there's a lot of these things that are going to go away, and I think that's a good thing. But when you talk about that physical standard, there's a reason why young men will pick certain branches of the military. Like, I've heard Jesse Kelly bring it up. He's like, I decided to go into the Marines because it was the hardest physical training you could possibly do. So I wanted to be around other people who had passed the hardest physical training. We can go back into the World War II era. The reason why the 101st Airborne was what it was, first off, the idea of we're going to jump out of planes. We've never jumped out of planes before. But those young men were trained so hard because they recognized, when I go to war, I want to be next to a guy who jumped out of a plane as physically fit as I am.
That's right.
It's like there's an attraction. There's an attraction here.
I just recently went back and watched Band of Brothers, and I think the first 2 episodes are all about how much they hated, I forget the character's name, but David Ross played him, the guy from Friends. And they were running up those hills, or sprinting up those hills.
Yeah, the amount of training they went through.
Dude.
They had that training for that particular group was based on, we don't know how long we're going to ask you to fight, so mentally we don't want you to quit. That's part of what goes on in the training with the SEALs.
Absolutely,
it's so
right.
mental. So
90%, they would say 90. I don't know that it's 90-10, but that's what they always say. 90-10 Navy SEAL training. 90% mental, 10% physical. Dude, that is training like I didn't even want, like, I knew I didn't have the ability. I even put it in our notes, man. I knew I wasn't going to be a Navy SEAL. I saw people around me.
you saw them and you're like, that's a different dude.
I was like, they do things differently. It's like when you walk out, back to sports, you walk out and you're playing, you're taking grounders at shortstop, and it's you and Manny Machado. You're like,
we do this differently.
something looks different about the way he does that.
But I think this is important. Tug, there was a place for you in the Navy.
Absolutely there was.
In the Air Force, there was a place for Jure. There was a place for everyone depending on your set of skills and what you were looking for. And that applies to women as well.
Certainly does.
Pete Hegseth was talking about combat units.
That's right.
And we have seen a change over the last 30 years. And it started, I had to I was thinking like mentally, like, okay, how did this all come about? Like, how did we go from these are the hardest, baddest people that we could possibly produce on the planet, these are killers, that then turned into, all right, we've got dog masks, we've got an Admiral Levine, we got all of, like, how did we get here? And to me, yeah, it did start to a certain extent with Don't Ask, Don't Tell. Like, did you guys ever see the movie Stripes?
Of course. Bill Murray.
One of the most hilarious moments in that movie, and it kind of tells you about what kind of a different era it was, when he shows up with his buddy to go to the Army Recruitment Center, and they have to ask him if they're homosexuals. Yeah. And as his buddy tells him, it's like, you mean, and they make a joke.
Yeah.
And then the next part is, no, but we are willing to learn. Okay, because that was part of the military practice, because they recognized, study after study showed that if you had gay men serving in combat, you could potentially have a problem with unit integrity as far as the unity of it. And diversity, that's not the strength, it's unity. It's what Pete Higgs brought up.
Said it was so good.
But then we moved over the last 30 years into so much of our programming, so much of our entertainment was based on, well, women can serve in combat without a problem. Did you not see G.I. Jane?
Yeah.
Did you not see Courage Under Fire? It was, okay, once we allowed this, now we're going to tell you that, well, service in combat's all the same. Well, it is if you can pass the standards.
That's the simple thing. There's the standard. Can you pass it or can you not? I have always questioned why we were lowering our standards for anything. Why do we lower our standards for anything? We want our standards to be the highest. It doesn't matter if you're trying to get into a medical school, or you're trying to go in the military, or you're trying to go play college ball. The standard cannot be lowered. The standard has to remain where it is to maintain the integrity that you were just talking about. Otherwise, if anybody can do it, what makes it special? What makes it great? What gives you the ability to accomplish the goal if there is no standard? Because you won't accomplish the goal. And we've learned that, and Hex had talked about that, how long it's been since we won a war.
I think we're looking at a period from about 2 years ago when it was Elon Musk and it was Don Lemon. And Elon is trying to explain that when you relax standards, when you lower them, you get a lower level of output, a lower level of performance. Now, Don Lemon is looking around going like, well, what do you mean? Like he didn't understand.
He's never been held to any standard.
And so, well, just to consider, we are now, 7-8 months removed from having a military helicopter pilot who could not follow orders and could not maintain an altitude, who took out a plane in D.C.
Yeah. That's exactly right, man.
A reduction of standards. Now,
That's what it causes.
Training accidents happen.
Sure,
like they happen in the military all the time.
Sure they do.
I've yet to see, until the last year, a pilot who couldn't get to altitude hit a commercial airliner and kill everyone.
Never seen anything like it.
And it's a reduction of standards. Because when you start looking into this, and boy, that story went away quick because the reduction of standards was part of the problem.
That's exactly right.
You're not supposed to be piloting this helicopter if this is not what you've checked off. So when Elon's trying to explain this to Don Lemon, that it really is about life and death.
Just the confusion on his face.
Yeah. What do you mean?
It's because he's a guy that's never been held to any standard, and you can tell it by the work that he puts out. It's a big day. Obviously, the government shut down. We're going to get to some of that. It was funny. I don't know if you've seen it this morning. The only person that I've seen that makes any sense on the Democrat side, John Fetterman.
Oh, the Fetterman weather vane.
Dude.
Which way is it blowing? You know where it's going.
Dude, he said, I choose country over party. That's a big statement for him to make. I watched the video of him this morning. It was something that he said last night. And he actually voted to keep the government open. 3 Democrats. John Thune said they're going to vote again this morning, or at least that's what he said last night. We'll see if that happens, but we'll continue this discussion.
Yeah, they gave it the overnight. We'll see if the pressure gets ramped up a bit.
I have a feeling it's going to. We'll see what happens. Talkmaster Neil Bortz joins us next on Xtra 106.36 Clock Hours, brought to you by Subaru of Gwinnett.
Did you miss Neil Bortz?
I am shocked.
Don't worry. He's live anytime on the Xtra 106.3 app.
Oh, that radio show.
Did traffic cause you to miss some of the Kimmer Show? Get it on the app.
It's all the kids talk about on Monday at school.
With anytime show replays from the Kimmer, Bortz, the Morning Xtra, Clay and Buck, and so much more. Plus local headlines and breaking news. Grab the Xtra 106.3 app now and start streaming.
Backyard, ballpark, or campsite. If there's fire, you can grill at Southern Thunder Barbecue School. Our Grill with the Pros class puts you in the action. In just 4 hours, you'll master steakhouse quality steaks, thick cut pork chops, chicken quarters, veggie kebabs, and wings. A hands-on training under the tutelage of barbecue grand champions. When the cooking is complete, you'll feast. Don't just grill like a pro. Register now at southernthunderbbq.com. That's southernthunderbbq.com.
This is Window Nation, your source for affordable replacement windows at the highest quality. So if your old windows have you boiling in the summer and freezing in the winter, you need the pros at Window Nation with installation precision and experience that are second to none. Their custom windows are guaranteed to be a perfect fit, and they're backed by the best warranty in the industry. Go to getwindownation.com or call 866-90NATION for your free estimate. And for a limited time, buy 2 windows, get 2 windows free, plus no payments for 2 years.
Attention timeshare owners. This is an urgent consumer alert from the Timeshare Exit Hotline, a national company specializing in helping consumers legally get out of their expensive timeshare contracts. We're offering you a way to legally get rid of your timeshare. So if you're fed up with the maintenance fees that keep on coming and want to learn if you can terminate your timeshare legally and permanently, call today. Even if you've tried before and were unsuccessful in getting rid of your timeshare, call today and see if we can help. We offer a complete 100% unconditional client satisfaction guarantee. Make this completely free call and learn how we can help you legally put an end to your timeshare nightmare once and for all. You have nothing to lose, so call right now to qualify and receive a free consultation.
Call 800-838-8614. 800-838-8614. That's 800-838-8614.
Paid for by Airtime Media.
Senior software data engineer positions offered by Travelport LP in Atlanta, Georgia. Design, implement, and optimize high-throughput distributed software solutions with a focus on scalability, reliability, and performance. Employee reports to Atlanta, Georgia, but may telecommute from any location in the U.S. Please submit resume and transcripts to America's Business Partners at Travelport.com. Reference job ID 9252566.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The Dean's List with Janice Dean.
A restaurant owner in Minnesota who surprised one of his workers with a brand new bike makes today's Dean's List. The young man's only way of transportation to work was stolen, and he had no way to get home. But thanks to the folks at Townies where he works, they all knew exactly what to do. The owners and employees all teamed up and bought the man a brand new bike, surprising him with it outside the restaurant and getting his reaction on video. There were tears of joy from the recipient of the brand new bike, as well as all the folks that worked at Townies and many of their guests who handed the man some extra money to help him out. The video of the wonderful act of kindness was posted online with the caption that read, "Thank you all for helping turn a tough situation into something hopeful. It reminds us there are still good people out there." Amen. Janice Dean, Fox News.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
Here are your Georgia headlines for Wednesday, October 1st. Cobb County law enforcement participated in a statewide operation called Watchful Eye, targeting registered sex offenders who violated the terms of their release. Officials say the operation led to multiple arrests after stricter monitoring and coordinated checks across Georgia. The sheriff's office stressed that these efforts are part of ongoing work to ensure community safety. State investigators are working to determine what sparked a fire at a Cobb County church Monday night. The fire happened at Prayer City Eagles Chapel in Austell. Multiple fire departments responded and battled the flames for hours. No injuries were reported, but church leaders say they received threats days before the fire, including messages promising damage and violence. And Georgia voters have until October 6th to register or update their registration ahead of the November Public Service Commission and municipal elections. The November 4th ballot will include 2 statewide Public Service Commission seats and local races for mayor, city council, and school boards. Today's weather partly cloudy with a high of 80 degrees. With your headlines, I'm Jerry Payne for Extra 106.3.
Tug and Los until 10 on the Morning Xtra and Xtra 106.3. Thank you for being here. And we welcome the one, the only, the Talkmaster, Neil Bortz, to the show. Neil, what is up with you, pal? How are you?
Crowd goes wild.
That's them right there. It's like when baseball starts tonight, and the crowd will be going wild. They're all going wild for you, Neil Bortz, right now.
Oh, yeah. Hey, well, last leg, we'll be home tonight, so.
Okay.
And see what's going on there before we leave again.
Yeah. You got another trip planned already?
Always.
Son, dude, this is living. Los, we need to live like this one day.
Well, you will. You're in radio. This is the way we retire.
Sir.
This is exactly what happens.
Sir.
We all just leave the business and we never get anywhere near it ever again.
That's right. Until it drags you back in, just like we've drugged Neil Bortz back in.
Well, I just have to make. Where's the Super Bowl this year? Next year, whenever it is.
Ooh, I've got to take a quick look at that.
Bay Area. In the Bay Area.
All right, so we're.
I just have to be there. I mean, the chance of a lifetime.
Oh, I see what direction we're headed.
I cannot miss this. I have to be there because Bad Bunny is going to be the halftime show.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not meant for you.
No,
it's not meant for me. It's meant for a different audience.
Oh, I'm so excited. Bad Bunny. I mean, how could anybody ever miss that?
Well, like I know a couple songs, but I'm not. He's not, again, like Los was saying.
I wouldn't even admit that.
Well, Neil, I'm a music
It's not
guy.
meant for Neil. Now, that's the other part about the NFL lost Neil quite a long time ago. 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But what the NFL has shown is that they can pretty much do whatever they want, and a majority of the audience is going to hang with them. This is about how do you get that housewife who enjoys this music, or my 15-year-old daughter to watch this stuff. That's what the audience is for.
Have her committed.
Well, she's not crazy, Neil. I've met the child.
If she likes Bad Bunny, maybe she needs to be, a little, what do they call it? Or not an indoctrination, but where a bunch of people.
What, are we going to have her scared straight? Am I going to have a bunch of people sitting there yelling at her about
You're not listening to Bad Bunny anymore.
If you listen to more Bad Bunny, you'll be in prison by 25.
That's right.
Does he even sing, or does he just talk fast?
I think it's kind of
it's a mix of the two.
Yeah, it's a little bit of both. Yeah, it's
okay.
kind of
Well,
hip-hop.
enough about Bad Bunny. Yeah.
Bad Bunny.
Now, I heard one of you said we'll bring eternal peace. This deal that Trump appears to have negotiated.
I know Donald Trump may have said something like that.
I don't think we've said it, but yeah.
Eternal peace is only death.
Yeah, that's right.
No, I'll tell you what brings eternal peace.
What's that?
The end of Islam, that stupid cult created by a rag picker in the middle of the desert after several attempts at bringing fame and fortune had already failed him. Oh, I know what I'll do. I'll create a religion.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do. If I can just start my own church and get the amount of tax breaks, it's genius. He just happened to beat us to it.
I wonder what kind of tax breaks he got.
I don't think he probably didn't get any. I think that's probably more nowadays.
There cannot, unless there is a drastic change in the philosophy of this fake religion, this cult, there's not going to be an eternal peace. They will just buy time and continue moving to their eternal goal is a world without Christians.
Yes, especially the radical part of that religion will definitely tell you that. They don't hide it. In Dearborn, Michigan.
You're not going to eradicate it. All you can do is try and modernize those that will be willing to be modernized. But the problem ends up being is that if you always say, well, there's only like 1% to 2% that are very violent. Well, when you have a billion people,
big number.
Yeah, and I guess the majority of the German population was as violent as no. I'm sorry. In fact, and I've actually looked for this, and I know that people have developed a chart or a plan or what have you that generally is followed by Islam to execute their complete takeover. We start with this, then we move to this, then we move to this, and finally we get to the point that you have to accept it or you're going to die.
I saw,
and that's the chart of Islam.
Can I ask Neil about the meme from last night? Because
Yes.
I don't know if Neil's gotten a chance to see it, but what I've been trying to instruct the audience, Neil, especially my Democrat friends, whenever Donald Trump trolls you, you have to understand that he's trolling you, he's making fun of you, and if you play into it, you're playing right into his hands.
Okay, who was he after last night?
So last night he took the Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries, their impromptu press conference about, the government shutdown, and somebody put the entire meme, the entire video to like the Mexican hat dance. Hakeem Jeffries has a sombrero on and a really bad mustache, and Chuck Schumer is talking about how no one will vote for them anymore, including the black community, so we have to put together things to take care of illegals. And Donald Trump reposted this video.
He didn't create it.
Somebody made it, had fun with it, and he decided, I'm going to put it out there. And immediately, whether it's CNN and Caitlin Collins or MSNBC, it was, well, that's racist.
Oh, of course.
But it's hilarious. It's funny. It's like he's trolling you.
I'm going to go looking for it as soon as
you'll
you
love it.
Text it to him. Los can just text it to
I'll
you.
send it on over to you. You'll love it. It's hilarious.
As soon as you dump me,
He'll be watching it.
Can you believe this, Schumer and Jeffries? They want to extend Obama's COVID benefits. How long has that been?
Yeah.
And then they want money to prop up the liberal media because obviously the liberal media cannot stand on its own.
That's right. And so they want all these things, and Trump's like, no way, y'all shut it down. It's going to be on y'all. And I'm going to start just slicing and dicing the government workforce.
I know. That's the good thing. All of a sudden, people, they're not laid off because of a partial government. They're let go. And then, well, I'm sorry. I mean, look, things seem to be operating pretty well right now, even though the Democrats have shut down funding. So we're going to trim the ranks even more. We're going to fire 10, maybe 20, who knows, a couple of 100,000 people, and we're going to start trimming it down so that the Democrats can't pull this nonsense every single freaking year. And boy, I remember, I think it was during the Clinton years, that the Democrats made their planning for a government shutdown. They made it clear. They went out there to various government worker unions, and there should be no government worker unions. But they went out to them and said, look, we need a couple of examples. Well, fine, boss, what can we get you? We need some families, union workers with children who will be laid off if there is a government shutdown. We want them to be ready to be interviewed and talk about how tough it is for them right here when you're planning for the holidays and for Christmas. What a devastating impact this is having on their family. We might lose our home. Our car might be repossessed. We need to get these people lined up and ready so as soon as the Republicans shut down the government, we can present them to the network television powers, and they'll willingly run them because they're basically Democrat. And they had all this set up, and that's exactly what they did. And people in this country, oh, these kids aren't going to have Christmas. And all the time they knew that as soon as an agreement was reached and the funding returned, all of these workers, all of them, would be paid whatever they lost during the layoffs. They'd all get their back. And they play this game every year, and the media lets them play this game every year. And the Myrmidons, I love that word. You know what a Myrmidon is?
I've got a Google machine. I'm ready.
Yeah.
Myrmidon?
We're looking it up right now. Continue, please, sir.
Oh, if Myrmidons doesn't describe run-of-the-mill Democrats, I don't know what does. I mean,
I bet subordinate of a powerful person, typically unscrupulous or carries out.
Read it out loud for everybody, so everybody in the class can understand.
A follower or subordinate of a powerful person, typically someone who's unscrupulous or carries out orders unquestionably.
There you go.
Yeah.
Blindly follows the orders of their superiors.
Sounds like a cult.
In Greek mythology, they were commanded, they were the soldiers of Achilles.
Yeah,
again, didn't question anything.
Doesn't that sound like a Democrat to you?
Certainly does. Don't question anything. And if you get out of line, Los and I talk about it all the time. If you get out of line, they will have nothing to do. They will excommunicate you.
Or execute you.
Or either one, yes.
And what else did the Democrats? Well, they want some DEI funding, of course.
None of this is going to be popular once it all is getting laid out, the trillions of dollars in spending. Because I was assured that there were no Social Security benefits that were going to illegals. I was told that when it came to any of the funding for emergency management, that was not going to illegals. Everything has been going to illegals because illegals is the lifeblood and the best big hope for the Democrat Party moving forward.
Oh, absolutely, because if Biden had won, we would not have made it through his second administration without proposals being floated to make illegals who have been here for X number of years eligible for citizenship.
That's Nancy Pelosi has as much said it. She said we want to legalize all these people. She's said it multiple times. They're not even trying to hide it.
No, and then they'll vote. And they'll vote for us.
Yeah.
And that was always the plan.
Yeah, it was.
And Biden losing was just devastating to these people.
Yeah. It's been a disaster for them and the entire party because all the money's dried up too because they're not able to launder it.
Look at all the strange, idiotic, moronic things that have been going on in this country, like this 14-year-old sophomore in an Iowa high school with facial hair. I talked about this yesterday in my commentary. With facial hair. But he likes to stand in the girls' locker room and watch them change clothes for gym class. And parents complained, and the school officials said, it's okay. He identifies as a woman. So he's allowed to be in the girls' locker room while they're changing clothes. But then, when it's time for him to change clothes for PE, where does he go? He goes to the boys' locker room.
Yeah.
And this is all enabled by Democrats.
Exactly right.
These are not Republican Party policies. They are Democrat policies. And in this nation, I mean, how long are we going to tolerate this idiocy from a major political party?
They're at an 18% approval, so I think most people have seen the light. At least the biggest portion of the country says this is unacceptable. We're not putting up with this.
Well, they may be 18% approval, but what else do they have? Their approval among the media, the people that form opinions, the people who ostensibly provide us with our information. The approval rate among media moguls for Democrats is way the hell above 18%. And so we're getting fed daily. The American people are being fed the Democrats are good, Republicans are evil. Democrats love democracy, Republicans are fascist. They're being fed this every single day by the major media. An 18% approval rating is good. It's amusing, but it's not going to mean a hell of a lot when the approval rating for Democrats among the media types is over 90%.
Media information is like ultra-processed food. It will kill you. It is not good for you. So do not listen to them.
Come on. I mean, Codger's got to eat somewhere. So.
Well, we want you to stay healthy, so eat something good. Don't listen to the media because that'll rot your brain, and don't eat ultra-processed fruit. That'll rot your body.
Well, I think I have about 250 miles until home.
Well,
get on home.
Safe travels,
Yeah,
sir.
safe travels, Neil.
Oh, yeah. I mean, just...
And check out the video I sent you.
Yes. Get ready to laugh.
Get ready to commentary off that.
And by the way, kids, when you're merging onto an expressway, at the bottom of that ramp, you should be going as fast as everybody on that expressway is going. You don't look over your shoulder and wait for a spot.
Yeah, it's not a yield. It is a go. Get on the interstate as quickly as you can.
Move your hayseed asses and get on. Never mind.
Talkmaster Neil Bortz on Extra 106.3. Thanks, Neil.
Okay, guys. See you later.
Tug and Los until 10 on the Morning Extra. When we come back, you know the Democrats have no leadership, and so do they. Next on Extra.
The latest sports news, powered by 680 The Fan, and driven to extra listeners by RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs, Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Wednesday, October 1st. Major League Baseball playoffs are underway as the 4-game rounds are now going. The Tigers lead the Guardians 1-0 as Game 2 starts in Cleveland at 1 p.m. this afternoon. The Cubs, they look for a 2-0 series lead over the Padres. That'll begin at 3 o'clock. Then later in the evening, the New York Yankees are at home looking to avoid a 2-0 series deficit as they will play the Boston Red Sox. That first pitch is set for 6 p.m. And then later on in the evening, after a Game 1 blowout in which the Dodgers got to double digits, they look to beat the Cincinnati Reds once again. That game will start at 9 p.m. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
Hey, it's Tug. We got all this sports and, football and playoff baseball. Tells you we're in fall. Central Heating and Air Conditioning. Make it the perfect time to upgrade your house for comfort. For a limited time, you can get $2,100 in rebates and 60 months, 0% financing with approved credit. Savings up front, no interest for 5 years. Brand new Carrier system in your house that will deliver dependability, efficiency, and comfort that your family deserves. You see, Carrier and Central Heating and Air Conditioning, they've set the standard in heating and cooling for 3 generations. Now's your chance to bring that comfort home and have the best savings of the season. Dual incentives, they don't come around often. You get both. $2,100 in rebates, 60 months, 0% financing. Call Central Heating and Air Conditioning today. Chuck and his team will take care of you. 770-GET-HEAT, centralheat.com.
Hey, Atlanta, it's Mark from the Safe House. I have a question for you. Am I the only person pissed off with the mainstream fake news, liberal judges,
and whiny liberal politicians
who don't realize why Donald Trump is president, and fake safes? And you may wonder, why fake safes? Well, a fake safe is like Joe Biden, cheap and ineffective. A real safe from Atlanta Safe House is like Donald Trump, tough, effective, and provides peace of mind when you need it the most. So drop by Atlanta Safe House and check out the largest selection of safes in the Southeast and see what a real safe looks like. So go to atlantasafehouse.com.
Hey, this is John Flading. I'm the president and owner of ATL Turf Co. We are a family-owned, operated, independent local company. We have over 15 years of artificial grass design, installation, and sales experience. From premium artificial lawns and backyards, custom putting greens, sports fields, hardscape, drainage. We do both residential and commercial. If you can dream it, we can build it. Just go to atlturfco.com to schedule an appointment.
Amazon Business offers smart business buying solutions, so you can spend more time growing your business and less time doing the admin. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Pete Davis here, and football is in full swing. And Underdog is the best place to make picks and win money all season long. And the best part, you can play right now here in Georgia. Playing on Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite player is going to go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, passing yards, interceptions, and more. Get your picks right, you can win up to 5,000 times your cash. I play too. This season, I'm looking at Michael Penix Jr. to go higher on touchdown projections and Drake London to go higher on receiving yards. It's simple, it's fun, and it keeps me locked into every play. Download the app today and sign up with promo code 1063 to score $100 in bonus funds or entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code 1063. Underdog. Make picks, win money.
Must be 18 plus and present in Georgia. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
It's October 1st, and this is your Fox Daily Snapshot. Today is International Coffee Day. Started in 2014 to celebrate coffee as a beverage and raise awareness for the plight of coffee growers. A gunman opens fire on a concert crowd in Las Vegas in 2017, killing 58, wounding more than 800 others in the deadliest mass shooting in U.S. history at the time of the attack. In 1890, Congress creates Yosemite National Park. Environmental trailblazer John Muir and his colleagues campaigned for the congressional action, which was signed into law by President Benjamin Harrison. Roger Maris breaks Babe Ruth's single-season home run record, smacking his 61st home run in 1961. Born on this day in 1924, the 39th President of the United States, Jimmy Carter, in Plains, Georgia. He served in the White House from 1977 to 81. He was awarded the 2002 Nobel Peace Prize. I'm CJ Papa. That's your Fox Daily Snapshot.
The legend Neil Bortz is only on Extra 106.3. Hey, it's the Kimmer. How's it going? Here's what you missed from the Talkmaster.
The Democrat media will manipulate the way they deliver you your daily dose of news in a way that hides some of the truth they don't necessarily want to spread.
Catch Neil's commentary every day on Extra 106.3 or listen anytime on the Extra 106.3 app.
Tug and Los until 10 on the Morning Extra. Thank you for being here. 404-741-1230 as the government has been shut down, partially shut down. We'll talk about that through the day, what it means.
It's probably the end of the world.
As we know it.
I feel fine.
Me too. And you know all the lyrics, too.
How do you like that for a 646 REM reference?
Take that.
I mean,
yesterday we had an REM reference, too. It's 2 days in a row.
Yeah, 2 days in a row.
The new band with, was it...
what if you can't go to
Darius
a national
Rucker?
park?
Yeah, with Darius, yeah.
Or listen to a Darius Rucker mega group, super group.
What was it? Howl, Owl, Howl?
Yeah, with Mike Mills from
It's
REM.
really complicated.
It's hard to say.
It is.
Can't do it fast.
No, you can't. But 2 REM references in 2 days in a row is pretty impressive.
It's like the attorney, Bob Loblaw.
Bob Loblaw.
Right. You can't speak nonsense to Bob Loblaw.
Yeah, right. It's so good.
Have you ever been to his law blog?
No, but I've seen this before.
Bob Loblaw's law blog.
Yeah, right. It's so good. The fact that you can actually say it's pretty impressive because I don't know that I could. I physically don't know that I can say it.
Me and Jeray with our love of Arrested Development, at least the first 3 seasons, when, yes, they have an attorney, a family attorney named Bob Loblaw.
Yeah. I think it was you that showed me the clip.
Most does his morning warm-ups like Ron Burgundy.
Yeah.
Unique, New York.
Yeah.
How now, brown cow?
Yeah, that's right. I hear that's handy to do. And maybe I should start working on it because
the ostrich has oddly shaped feet.
I stumble and stammer around. Maybe I need to do something like that. I don't know.
Lanolin?
With the government shutdown, partial shutdown, it's because the Democrats have zero leadership. They have no idea which way is up. And that's not changing anytime soon, but it's not just you that know that. It's not just me that recognizes that sees that. Oh, no. Harry Enton, he's noticed too.
Why is it that the Democrats, in my mind, are facing more pressure, those Democratic leaders? And that is because their base thinks that their party leaders are weak. Look at this. Democrats on who has strong leaders. Look at this. 54%. Say neither party, 54% of Democrats say neither party has strong leaders. Among Republicans, 80% of their base thinks Republicans have strong leaders. Yet among Democrats, just 35% of Democrats say their party has strong leaders. When you add together this 54% with this 11%, we're talking about 2/3 of Democrats who say neither party or Republicans have stronger leaders as compared to just 35% who say their own parties have strong leaders. As I said at the top, weak is how Democrats view their leaders in Washington.
Yes, that's right. You've seen it. I've seen it. They've seen it. How about that? The only question I would have is, what does strong leadership look like to Democrats? Is it Che? Is it Castro? Who is it that they would see? Because as that party trends so hard to the left and embracing socialism and communism, who is it that they would see as a strong leader? Because I still don't believe I would agree with them.
Well, they're looking for a winner on a national stage. And what it's become is a regional party. They will have representation throughout different enclaves that are Democrat run, that are largely Democrat. But who is the Democrat that can go out and, let's say, you would have no doubt that they would do just as well in the Midwest as the Southeast?
Oh,
that's what they're looking for.
That doesn't exist.
No, not right now. There is not that person who holds up that banner and you go, that person is a factor all over the country.
Right, but then they wouldn't choose, by their own standard, they wouldn't choose somebody that would work in the Midwest.
And that's the catch-22. That is the problem with the leadership, is that you have this push within, again, when you're talking about 18, 19% approval rating, the problem is that those people that are looking to push and say, well, why don't you fight harder? Why don't you push more into the areas that are important to us? Identity politics. Why don't you push more against Donald Trump? Why don't you push more into DEI? The problem is none of that flies in the flyovers. None of it. So while you're telling all your leadership you need to be more like this, more firebrand on these topics, leadership comes across as weak because they know they can't.
Yeah, because who in the Midwest sees Gavin Newsom or Kamala Harris or Joe Biden or Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries? Who in the Midwest goes, yep, those guys, well, they got it down right? Nobody. Not a single soul.
And to think, last night the troll job continued. You had, as Hakeem Jeffries, because all their responses is, these Donald Trump videos that he keeps posting, they're racist and bigoted.
Terrible.
And then by last night, it was the one of the sombrero's back on Hakeem Jeffries with the mustache. Then suddenly there's 4 mariachis that are all Donald Trump playing instruments behind him.
It's so genius because they it's like the kid that can't take a joke. You know what I mean? Maybe it's at your house and you got one of your kids that goes along with everything, but the other one, they're in that phase where everything makes them cry. That's the Democrat Party. They're the kid that cries about everything.
He's making them, Donald Trump, making them look weak with comedy.
That's right.
That's what he's doing. They're sitting back like they're looking for a gladiator. And the problem is their gladiator is, well, what about if it's AOC? Okay, good luck with that. What if it's Gavin Newsom? You want to talk about falling by the wayside the last several weeks?
Goodness. No, he has. He's done nothing, said anything. He has no relevance whatsoever. And everything he does say comes off as hollow and empty.
Well, he went at Donald Trump, and I don't believe that he saw any traction outside of some people within the Democrat Party, largely on the West Coast. So now he's turned to J.D. Vance. Like, that might be my opponent.
Yeah.
All right, good luck with that.
Well, it might be your opponent, but he's going to kick your ass.
But he's going to whoop you. But that's the difference right now. When Harry Enton is giving the numbers, it's because there's a frustration going on with Democrats that they don't have a prospect that they feel like they can win a majority of the country with.
But their politics don't allow them to have
no, of course not.
And
which is
when
why
are they going to shake up their muddy water head to figure that out?
That is why you've had people that have, whether it's the Bill Maher's or the Ragin' Cajun, you've had people that have actually been part of this for quite a while. These are the tribal elders. They keep saying, hey, we got to center this message if you want to win the center. It's like, how do I appeal to that person in Indiana? All right, like Minnesota? All right.
Yeah.
It's a weird place.
That is an odd place.
But you lost Michigan.
Yeah.
You lost Pennsylvania. You lost a lot of places where the margins are not significant either way. It's really about, can I get the middle? But if you're not talking to the middle, what chance do you have in these places?
Zero.
This used to be the Rust Belt that the Democrats depended on, knowing
owned it.
We've got to own it. And at that point, if we can just get Ohio or Florida, we win an election. Now, Ohio and Florida, that's out the door.
Dude,
and half the Rust Belt's coming over to the Republicans.
That's exactly right. The unions.
The unions are ditching.
Who would have, in your lifetime, would you have ever?
No.
Me either.
No, it's only, and again, these are private sector unions.
Yeah.
That are moving more
I'm like,
Republicans.
I'm
like, fine.
Yeah,
good,
man, private sector unions just
Public
fine with
sector
me.
unions, I think
Despise them.
we are all about it. When you're negotiating against my wallet, that's a problem that we have. Sure. I have no issue. If you want to go at Ford Motor Company and line out a deal, by all means, please do so.
Absolutely.
Unionize.
100%. I just, I never in a million years would have thought that unions and the blue collar workers, even though that's what my family has been, it always felt like we were just, we were the anomaly, I guess. And now that's not the case at all. I think it just took time for the Democrat Party to really show you who they are and then really migrate so hard left that everybody is going, what are y'all doing?
Who are you?
Communists used to be a joke. It used to be a joke, man. But I told you my father-in-law, anything he doesn't like, he calls it a commie. He's like,
this is communist.
That's a commie TV. That's a commie, the team, whoever, because he's a Yankees fan, whoever the Yankees are playing, they're commies.
It used to be funny.
Yeah, it did.
To do it.
You can't do it. It's not funny anymore.
It's from a different era. It's from a Cold War era where anything you didn't like at one point, my dad could pick up a menu, and if he thought that the breakfast was $3 too much, well, that's communist.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's how it went. I'm like, wait a minute, Dad, that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense why that happens to be communism. But that's the joke.
The punchline.
All right, what happens now when it's actually communist?
Well, you don't get to make fun. I guess you still make fun of it, but it doesn't have the...
It's actually a real descriptor.
It's who they really are.
I think it says a lot when a man like Neil Bortz, who spent as much time doing this job as he did, just made it a point. I'm not calling these people communists because it's not a descriptor. Now he's like, no, these ones, this version, they're communist.
And I think we've helped him with that. Because remember when he wouldn't say it. And then at one time, I can't remember when it was, been a few months back, he was like, y'all keep calling them communists. And we're like, because they are.
And the fun part about that conversation was by the next week, he was like, yeah, I looked into it. They're communist.
You boys are right. Morning Xtra at Xtra 106.3. When we come back, defend America with our military. What a novel concept. Next at Xtra.
Neil Bortz is only live on Xtra 106.3, bringing you daily commentary on the biggest topics of the day. Catch him throughout the day or hear his latest on the Xtra 106.3 app.
Join Daniel Matalon, CEO of A Second Chance Bail Bonds, and co-host Tug Cowart as they bring together law enforcement, justice insiders, and voices from every part of the justice system, victims, advocates, and people who've turned their lives around. It's not PR, it's not fluff. It's an honest talk about what's working, what's broken, and how to build a better path forward, one second chance at a time. This week's guest is former Clayton County Sheriff and current candidate for Congress in Georgia's 5th District, Victor Hill. Justice Unfiltered. Unfiltered, informed, and unbiased.
No one plans on going to jail, but when it happens, it's important that you know who to call. Call A Second Chance Bail Bonds, where we believe everyone deserves a second chance. Whether your loved one's been arrested in Cherokee, Clayton, or any of the other metro Atlanta counties in between, A Second Chance Bail Bonds works fast to help expedite release within hours. A Second Chance. It's better to know us and not need us than need us and not know us. Call A Second Chance 24/7 at 404-BAIL-OUT or online at atlbail.com.
Hi, I'm Chris Lalamia, owner of the Trusted Toolbox. Are home repairs piling up? Are you feeling overwhelmed? Relax. We've got you covered. From drywall dings and leaky faucets to deck repairs and trim replacement, we're your one-stop shop for everything for your home needs. No more juggling multiple contractors. Just call us at the Trusted Toolbox and we'll handle it. Your home deserves the best, and we don't want you breaking your back trying. Call the Trusted Toolbox today at 770-623-3097 or visit us at thetrustedtoolbox.com. The Trusted Toolbox, your one-stop shop for home repairs and more.
Hey, Atlanta Braves fans, this is Kelly Kroll asking you to step up to the plate for the men and women who have served our country and protected our freedom. The Warrior Alliance, an official community partner of the Atlanta Braves and the Atlanta Braves Foundation, is helping thousands of veterans to achieve success after military service. Either you or someone you know has served and deserves our support. The best way to say thank you for your service is by helping a veteran round the bases on their journey home. Donate today at thewarrioralliance.org.
The Dean's List with Janice Dean.
Brave teenagers from Utah who kicked down a door to save some dogs from a burning house makes today's Dean's List. The fast-moving fire destroyed several homes on the block with smoke everywhere, but several friends worked together to try and save people and their pets from the flames. One of the teenagers say they didn't hesitate, jumping over the fence to see if they could help. There was a vehicle in one driveway, but no one coming out, so they rushed over and started banging on the door. Looking through the window, they saw a dog inside and decided to go in and rescue him. They were able to force the door open since it was locked, and security footage shows 2 dogs being saved. The owners of the pets were not home, but they were so grateful to the teens for saving their beloved dogs. The brave teenagers, meanwhile, say seeing how grateful everyone was made their risky decision so worthwhile. Janice Dean, Fox News.
streaming across Georgia on the Extra 106.3 app. This is WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station. Extra 106.3.
Fox News alert. A government shutdown begins. I'm Dave Anthony.
The only real victim here is the American people. This is so unnecessary and uncalled for.
That's Republican Senate Leader John Thune after the House passed bill that provides 7 more weeks of funding was blocked by Democrats. Minority Leader Chuck Schumer is demanding provisions to extend health care subsidies set to expire at the end of the year.
The vast majority of Americans get those bills, and they're going to say, what the heck are we going to do? We need health care, but we can't afford it.
GOP Senator Rick Scott tells Fox he's frustrated.
If you didn't do your job in business, you didn't get paid. You don't show up and do your job, you don't get paid. Why are we getting paid? We shouldn't get paid if we don't do our job.
But while members of Congress will still get paychecks in the shutdown, other workers providing essential services from law enforcement to the military to airport security will not get paid unless there's new funding. Hundreds of thousands of other federal workers may be furloughed or lose their jobs permanently. President Trump warns Democrats.
We can do things during the shutdown that are irreversible, that are bad for them and irreversible by them. Like cutting vast numbers of people out, cutting things that they like, cutting programs that they like.
2 unions representing federal employees have filed lawsuits challenging the president's authority to lay them off. There are 2 natural disasters overseas. An earthquake rocked the Philippines, a magnitude 6.9 shaking, killing at least 69 people. Rescuers are searching for anyone trapped in collapsed or damaged homes and buildings. There's also a frantic search in Indonesia after a school collapsed. At least 91 students still unaccounted for. The 3 have been found dead so far.
Parents are there with more than 300 rescue workers at the Islamic boarding school in Sidoarjo, Indonesia. The collapse happened during afternoon prayers on Monday on a lower floor of a 2-story building where 2 floors were being added, reportedly an unauthorized expansion. Police say the foundation couldn't take the weight of the new concrete being poured. Oxygen, food, and water has been sent through narrow gaps to teenage boys believed to be trapped alive.
That's Fox's Chris Foster. America's listening to Fox News.
It's Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and LifeLock is here with tips to help protect your identity. Use strong passwords, set up multi-factor authentication on your accounts, report phishing, and update your software on all your devices. And for comprehensive identity protection, LifeLock is your best choice. LifeLock not only alerts you to suspicious uses of your personal information, but also fixes identity theft, guaranteed, or your money back. So stay smart, stay safe, and stay protected with a 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use the promo code BECK. Terms do apply.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term.
You may know Bortz is back, but not everyone else does. Tell anyone who loves America, Bortz is back on the radio in Atlanta, and his new home is Extra 106.3. Listen to him now on the Extra 106.3 app.
Song never gets old for me. Drums here. So good. Jets are taking off. This song is marvelous in this movie. Kenny Loggins, I mean, he's not the toughest guy you'll ever see in the world, you know, but he had figured out the movie soundtrack thing.
Can I tell you about a show that I gave 2 episodes to? The first 2?
Yeah, let me know.
I gave Chad Powers a watch yesterday.
What'd you think?
Well, I'll just say this because I like the actor.
Yeah, he's great.
The premise is fun. The way it opens with Oregon playing Georgia. I was like,
in the Rose Bowl.
Pretty well done.
Yeah.
Looked pretty good.
Didn't they film that at Georgia?
Okay,
I think they did.
So what they've shown, and they used kind of some pretty cool CGI kind of effects. So they're over at Old Turner Field. That's where the stadium is.
Okay.
But that is South Georgia University, and it's right on this river. And so it shows the state, like what would look like the downtown area of Atlanta is not the downtown area of Atlanta. It's like Old Turner Field on a college campus with like a river going through it.
I feel like I remember them filming the part where Chad Powers runs out on the field during like maybe the spring game or something. I don't. I just have a faint memory of them filming, at least that part of him running onto the field.
The only reason I bring that up and what it reminded me was because it suddenly out of nowhere in that show goes to, you got the touch, you got the power, and I'm like, oh wow, like we went straight to like 80s Transformers.
Let's go.
And, it's like, okay, that's a fun song.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the joke about it. It's like obviously he's an older guy,
yeah, for sure,
playing a younger guy,
right.
But okay, for the first 2 episodes, fine. Turn my brain off for 40 minutes. There's enough comedy there.
Do you go back to it, you think?
I'll give it another episode or two.
All right.
Again, I'm not watching Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
I know I'm not seeing something that's like tremendous.
Yeah, this is not.
It's just kind
award-winning.
Fun, the premise of trying to be somebody else for a little while to try and fool everyone.
Yeah.
It is. It's Mrs. Doubtfire football.
And the whole thing is that he was a great quarterback, got hurt or something.
So he blew up his own career. In fact, the first 2 minutes, like the way he ends his career, it's shocking. Because I won't tell you too much, but I'll just say this. He makes an error in a football game, changes the whole game, and when somebody comes to console him, it's the dad of the cancer patient on the sidelines. He punches him, and the dude falls into the cancer patient, and they both end up on the ground. And by the way, the cancer patient's in a wheelchair.
Oh, no.
So it couldn't have been like an uglier situation.
The dominoes falling.
And you're like, and life then went completely downhill from there.
And then he goes in disguise and tries to recreate.
Trying to get his career back.
Yeah, got it.
Like 8 years down the road. And why is this now funny? Why does this work? When he's asked about how old he is, you know what he blames? COVID. It's like, he's like, well, you seem like you might have lost some seasons. Well, didn't we always COVID?
Yeah, COVID. Yeah. And he was a category on Jeopardy night before last. He gave all the clues, right? And it was all sports related, and they were promoting the show. And after the category is done, it's on Hulu or Peacock or whatever it is.
Glenn Powell's just it's a fun. I enjoy the little bit of stuff he's been in, like Twisters. We had fun movie. I know what I'm getting into.
Yeah.
I watched Top Gun Maverick. I was like, okay, you play kind of the jerk.
Yeah.
I know what I'm getting into.
Yeah.
I'm not watching Shakespeare.
Yeah.
All right.
Top Gun Maverick's close, though.
It's like abs and fun.
Yeah.
All right. That's what he is.
Top Gun Maverick's close, and Creed is close.
Creed's awesome.
So
I can watch
good.
any.
Me too.
The first 2 Creed movies. The third one's okay.
I don't even think I saw the third one.
Third one's just okay.
The
first two amazing.
Stellar. Absolutely stellar. Exactly right. You had the anonymous speakers talking to Politico. More like a press conference than a briefing to the generals, said one defense official who was, like others, granted anonymity due to fears of retribution. This could have been an email. No, it couldn't have. No, it couldn't have. Talking about the press conference that was, or the meeting there at Quantico. Defense officials in the Pentagon, bases, everybody was brought to Quantico. And they talked about how they're going to defend America. They talked about getting in shape with our men and women in uniform, that our standards will return. An email doesn't convey that, Los. That's why they brought them to Quantico. They wanted them to understand that this is bigger than, hey, we're going to say this and not enforce it. We're going to bring you here to present it to you so you understand the levity, you understand the depth of our seriousness. We are changing the military today. An email does not convey that.
No, and the come to Jesus speech doesn't happen over the phone. Like, when we got a serious thing we've got to get into in my family, that is everybody sits down in the living room, we're going to have a talk. Now, it doesn't happen very often, but when it does, that isn't a, hey, go grab your sister, get her on the phone. I got to tell y'all something. It's like, no, we're all going to sit down and we're going to talk about what this plan is going to be.
Decision.
And we're all going to be part of it. That wasn't even a family decision so much as, here's what the family's doing.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's right. I was thinking in your situation.
We're moving. We're doing and you better get on board.
Here's what's coming. And Yeah, all these people that they say they spoke with, and look, I'm sure there are people that didn't like the gathering. I don't care that they didn't like it.
I don't care.
It doesn't affect me whatsoever. It doesn't change the way I view what Pete Hegseth said. And we'll get to what Donald Trump said because I think it's so valuable. And I think because of all the things that Pete said, some of Donald's words are actually being overshadowed, if that could happen, because I think it has.
I thought this was one of the factors, because I'm always thinking about, well, what is the left's response going to be? And you knew what it was going to be. Obviously, it's going to be negative. Everything has to be negative. That's part of the reason why the party is such in the doldrums. But I started thinking, okay, what if you had a career military official? What if you had like your former Secretary of Defense rather than the Secretary of War? Well, what they would say is, well, I mean, he's got command experience, but he's never been boots on the ground. All right, what do you say when Pete Hegseth has been boots on the ground?
Commissioned officer, led troops.
Talking to these other men who are in command, and for lack of a better term, his D's been in the dirt.
That's right. That's exactly right.
And so when he starts talking about a different standard, that's not somebody who got to sit back at HQ and make calls and get on the phone to Washington and decide, well, what's our next move in the theater? This was somebody who was actually executing plans on the ground in command.
And now does it at the highest levels of the Pentagon. And now every one of those people that may have questions about him are taking the orders because they have no other choice. That's the way the chain of command works.
But so when a man talks to you, and I think, and I really go back, if you haven't read any of Joey Jones's tweets on this, his posts on X, the amount of respect that he has for somebody who's done the job on the ground like he has, that's where he kept going back at people saying, dude, you're a clown. You're criticizing somebody who's actually done the job and recognizes that physical capabilities, physical fitness, a higher standard is required when you're looking to stand next to another man and know he's got your back.
He's done the job, and he recognizes that the job is not being done now, and it hasn't been since 2015 at a minimum when some of the combat role standards changed. But I would say even earlier than that, because I remember hearing people tell me about the way boot camp had become at Great Lakes, Illinois, when they talked about the changes and the things that the RDCs, the recruit division commanders, the RDCs could say to the seamen, to these potential sailors. They had such a hands-off, a kid-like glove thing that was going on. And I remember hearing some of these things going, wait, what? They're doing what? Or even worse, they're not doing what?
For the longest time, it's always been you get recruits in, you tear them down, however it is. Oftentimes it's physical. Sometimes it's going to be emotional. Sometimes you got to get a guy who's never been away from home, and you got to deal with that. But you turn them in to a unit. You turn
break
them in
down to build them up.
Exactly. You turn them into a fighting force. All right, what happens when you're not allowed to break them down anymore?
They don't become a fighting force.
That's what we've been seeing.
That's exactly right, dude.
That's what the results of this has been.
And Hegseth addressed the boot camp thing altogether. He was like, we are going to get boot camp back in order. It is going to be a place that will create soldiers and sailors and Marines to do the things that they are required to do, that they're expected to do, and that their chain of command will order them to do. I loved that because that's the thing that resonated with me, because I've had this conversation so many times in the last several years about things changing. But I want to go back to Donald Trump because he spoke after Hegseth. And this gets looked over a little bit, but I think it's important in the fact that Donald Trump says our military will defend America. What an interesting concept. That the armed forces of the United States might actually defend the homeland, might actually defend the USA.
I did enjoy him pointing out, listen, we don't have any business in Somalia.
Amen.
He's like, instead, why don't we protect our own borders?
Amen.
Why don't we protect our own country?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The people in that are in uniform right now, they've pledged to their country. They've pledged allegiance to the Constitution and said, we will defend this nation. What about, are there times when you need to defend and fight in Somalia or, wherever the military sends you? Yes. But there will be no prouder fighting force to defend the borders of the United States than those men and women in uniform right now.
Well, your pledge is to defend this country.
Constitution of the United States of America.
Foreign and domestic. Right now,
domestic is the one that always gets left out.
For some reason, when you bring up domestic, they're like, "Oh my God, what do you mean domestic?" Yes, like our fighting forces are there to protect us from those challenges that are foreign and domestic.
The enemy from within.
Yes, like that is the pledge. That's what it becomes. So if you're telling me that it's time to harden up our border so that we deal with the Mexican drug cartels, the whole idea of us having any kind of military down on the border was, oh my God, you're not allowed to do that. Hold on. They took the oath to do exactly this. And I guarantee they would rather be stationed somewhere in South Texas or California or New Mexico or Arizona defending this border from violent drug cartels than stuck on some place in Somalia having to deal with a bunch of people chewing cot and taking shots at them.
And continuously watching your back, absolutely, because you have there's nobody on your side when you're in Somalia. Here's Donald Trump.
Defending the homeland is the military's first and most important priority. That's what it is. Only in recent decades did politicians somehow come to believe that our job is to police the far reaches of Kenya and Somalia, while America is under invasion from within. We're under invasion from within. No different than a foreign enemy, but more difficult in many ways because they don't wear uniforms. At least when they're wearing a uniform, you can take them out. These people don't have uniforms. But we are under invasion from within. We're stopping it very quickly.
Marxists, we're having to deal with Marxists who want to overthrow the government. They want to overthrow the way you live and the way that I live. And we've brought them up before because there was the tie to Utah, the armed queers of Salt Lake City, going to Cuba physically to be trained by Cuban revolutionaries to come back to the United States and figure out a way to disrupt and harm and overthrow the government of the United States. That's what they're training to do. That's the enemy from within that Trump's talking about.
I'll just tell you, in the 8 o'clock hour when we do a story time, I don't think I've ever taken this many notes on one of these to explain to you what's going on. And so when you hear, what is it, Queers of Minnesota?
The armed queers of Salt Lake City.
Of Salt Lake City.
Yeah. But there are many of them, too. That's just one. That's just one of several. John Brown Gun Club in Texas is another. They work together, and they're all communist Marxist revolutionaries.
They are communist Marxist revolutionaries that are looking to use violence to make change in this country.
They've got it in their they armed. They want you to know.
They want you to know we are armed and we're looking to make changes.
Yes, make it clear.
So when Donald Trump brings up we might be using our own military to deal with these challenges, the challenges right now, granted, things with Taiwan and China have seemed to calm down a bit because of our influence over there. We have put together some naval groups. We have saber rattled and said, you don't know what our submarine capabilities are. We have talked about some issues that apparently has now gotten the Russians and the Chinese to say, we'll wait for the next dead Joe Biden. Like, whatever version of a cadaver you run up there, that's when we'll do something. In the meantime, the primary challenge right now comes from those people that are affecting within this country, our domestic terrorists, and our challenges on the border.
We have got to deal with all of these things. And I don't know if you've noticed, man, but how could you not be? You heard Donald Trump's voice in that. He seems exhausted. And then yesterday, as I was thinking about it, I saw Steve Bannon actually bring it up too. He's like, Donald Trump has the weight of the world on his shoulders. And I don't know that I explored it past the fact that I just noticed he sounds tired. And it's because he's doing everything, dude. Think about Gaza. He put together this peace plan that's going to happen sooner or later, regardless, that he'll be at the helm of. You're worried about China. That threat is real. You got Russia-Ukraine going on. You got the craziness inside of the country that's going on. I mean, this man is dealing with an avalanche of craziness in this world. It's nuts. No wonder he's exhausted. And the fact that he's still said, I'm going to speak in front of these generals and in front of these admirals, in front of everybody in the military that we've gathered here at Quantico. Pete, you take it off. You set the tone. I'm going to come in and be the closer. And he's still going, dude. You got to give him credit for his age, dude. He is like the Energizer Bunny.
You're cleaning up messes from the previous administration.
But even more than that. Yes,
that's what you're dealing with.
But
you're dealing
for years.
you're dealing with the previous administration's messes before you can get onto any of your. Now, did you get the big beautiful bill? Yeah, you got your big domestic policy done. Did we talked about the GDP growth going to 3.9? We're on the cusp of 4%, 5% being the goal. These are the goals you're looking for. All he's looking at is, I'm trying to create a world that's peaceful, because when we have peace all around the world, it's great for the United States, and it's great for our markets. When you want to talk about growing out of problems, that's how it happens. The hindrance to any of this is when you have violence going on around the world. And so I get it. Like, you are having to take care of a situation with the Russians and Ukrainians that wouldn't have happened had he been president. You're having to deal with Chinese aggression that wouldn't have happened if we did not have a very weak Joe Biden who would not use any sanctions against them. And you're having to deal with this war that kicked off with obviously with Hamas going into Israel, that again wouldn't have happened if he was president. I firmly believe all of these things. You're cleaning up other people's messes.
And then I read this yesterday, or day before yesterday, and forgot to bring it in yesterday. This mysterious fleet of U.S. air tankers that are flying to the UK, and we're still not sure why. There's no real statement about why 12 air tankers would go to the UK. And if you remember the last time we had a big old movement like that, the bombing happened, Midnight Hammer came down.
Yep.
I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. I don't have any idea.
But you pay attention to these sort of moves because you know it typically means something else is going to happen.
There's a reason you move 12 tankers refueling Air Force jets. The KC-135 Strata tankers is what they're called.
When you had the Navy move entire groups into different theaters, you were the first one who's like, this is what we're going to do.
Something's
up. Something's up here.
And this is one of those things, obviously, with a huge battle group, you're like, okay, I see what's about to come down. With tankers, I don't know what it means. I don't have any idea, but just keep your eye on that. When we continue, Obama now distancing himself from everything that he is and everything he did. Next on the Morning Extra on Extra 106.3.
Stream Atlanta's only conservative voice anywhere you go with the Extra 106.3 app. Now equipped with Apple CarPlay. That means you'll always have Extra's crystal clear HD stream right on your dashboard no matter where you are. Download the all-new Extra 106.3 app now and start streaming.
Time now for the Retire Wise Report. James Parker here with financial advisor Sean Maloney, founder and CEO of Retire Wise. Many people assume their taxes will automatically go down once they retire and stop collecting paychecks. Sean, is this a dangerous assumption?
It can be, because you know what? Lower taxes in retirement can be a myth. It's not always true, right? Remember, up to 85% of your Social Security benefits could be taxed, right? Your traditional IRA and 401k income is 100% taxable, so that needs to be accounted for. And that's why it's so important to find ways to reduce or eliminate your taxes wherever possible.
Tell us about the offer you have for our listeners.
Hey, look, now is the time to start looking ahead and identifying your tax liabilities in retirement. Well, we have a great resource for you guys. We have what's called the Retire Happy Framework Toolkit. You can get a copy today by calling or texting the word WISE to 770-802-2200. My team helped put together this just for you, and it's a complimentary guide. And the center of this is a copy of my latest book, The Priority of Retirement. It has chapters on everything from Social Security to investments to income planning. We include guides in there as well as on strategies for income planning, for taxes, and even dealing with recessions in retirement, among other things. So if you want to get this information in your hands today, call or text the word WISE to 770-802-2200. That's 770-802-2200.
Take advantage of this offer. Get your Retire Happy Framework today. Just text WISE to 770-802-2200. And the team at Retire Wise will get you your Retire Happy Framework right away. So just call or text WISE to 770-802-2200. Investment advisory services made available through AE Wealth Management, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Firm does not provide tax services.
Fox on Tech.
Washington may now be ready for self-driving cars. Amazon-owned autonomous taxi company Zoox is expanding to the East Coast and is picking the nation's capital to next deploy test fleets. The company has already been testing their driverless cars in places like San Francisco. Zoox test cars are SUVs outfitted with their autonomous tech and still make use of human safety drivers. Their actual vehicles, however, are not like anything you've likely seen before, resembling more of a street car with no driver tools and an open seating cab with personal comfort settings. Zoox is already fully operating in Las Vegas. Rides are hailed via the Zoox app. Testing in D.C. gives Zoox the chance to try their tech in a city with a particular style and pattern of roadways, along with functioning in mid-Atlantic weather, which, especially in winter, could bring challenges such as ice and snow. With Fox on Tech, I'm Eben Brown, Fox News.
Fox Country.
I'm Michelle Polino. Lainey Wilson is taking center stage at this year's CMA Awards, hosting the show solo, becoming just the third woman to do so following Dolly Parton in 1988 and Reba McEntire in 1991. The November 19th broadcast will air live from Nashville's Bridgestone Arena on ABC and stream the next day on Hulu. Wilson, who co-hosted last year with Luke Bryan and Peyton Manning, has won 9 Country Music Association awards in the past 3 years. This year, she leads the field with 6 nominations, tying Ella Langley and Megan Maroney. Zach Dopp has 5 nominations, and Riley Green and Cody Johnson has 4. Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban have separated after 19 years of marriage. Multiple sources confirmed the split Monday. Page 6 quoted a source saying sometimes relationships just run their course, adding, Kidman did not want the separation and was trying to save things. That's Fox Country on Fox News.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
Here are your Georgia headlines for Wednesday, October 1st. Cobb County law enforcement participated in a statewide operation called Watchful Eye, targeting registered sex offenders who violated the terms of their release. Officials say the operation led to multiple arrests after stricter monitoring and coordinated checks across Georgia. The sheriff's office stressed that these efforts are part of ongoing work to ensure community safety. State investigators are working to determine what sparked a fire at a Cobb County church Monday night. The fire happened at Prayer City Eagles Chapel in Austell. Multiple fire departments responded and battled the flames for hours. No injuries were reported, but church leaders say they received threats days before the fire, including messages promising damage and violence. And Georgia voters have until October 6th to register or update their registration ahead of the November Public Service Commission and municipal elections. The November 4th ballot will include 2 statewide Public Service Commission seats and local races for mayor, city council, and school boards. Today's weather partly cloudy with a high of 80 degrees. With your headlines, I'm Jerry Payne for Extra 106.3.
Tug and Los until 10 on the Morning Xtra and Extra 106.3. Barack Obama is a guy that was well-liked until his policies were presented. And then people were like, well, wait a minute. I don't really like all this. I was just reading that since Obamacare was pushed, that premiums for health care because of Obamacare are up 80%.
As it was designed.
Yes, right, because it was never meant to work.
It was designed to fall apart so that we could get to a single payer system. And we have helped it limp along for the better part of a decade.
We got to. That's one thing, and I have nothing but respect for John McCain. I wish it would have been different toward the end of his political career, because he was the reason that it got saved. Right, his vote helped save Obamacare.
It's just so empowering at this point for the federal government to hold on to basically 1/4, 1/5 of the American economy. Mm-hmm. That's what they control with this.
Right.
And now that you've had another opportunity, it's not like you don't control all the levers of government. You could probably go at this thing and get rid of it.
You got to have a plan.
But there's no plan
and there's no plan.
And Donald Trump took one bite at the apple, and when it didn't work out, when John McCain saved it, he's like, all right, fine.
Yeah.
You keep it if you want. And you see your premiums going up. You see the cost of healthcare going up. And more than anything, the bureaucracy of healthcare, and that everything, it's no longer like the idea of medical practice means that we're going to try stuff here. Now there's no longer practice. It's just we do A, then we do B, then we do C. And every step along the lines, it's uniform. So you're not really getting individual health care. You're just getting what's been mandated by the hospital and the government systems.
And then if they do want to try anything else, got to get it approved.
Got to get it approved.
Or you got to
jump through hoops or pay for it yourself.
The premium becomes big, or the part that you pay becomes that much larger. It's a disaster. It was, as you mentioned,
designed to be.
It was designed to be a disaster, and it is.
Well, and so when you look at Barack Obama, like, what now is Barack Obama's legacy? If we now talk about the 18% approval rating within the Democrats, it's that the road that Barack Obama took everyone down of identity politics, of a certain level of tribalism, of a deflector shield politics. Because if you said something about Barack Obama, it's like, well, you're only doing it because he's black. Well, no, I think he's kind of Manchurian candidate, and I don't like what he's doing.
His policies suck.
You have a problem with black people. Okay, that was always the argument. Yep. In the same way that when you have a congresswoman say something, well, clearly that's misogynistic. No, I'm saying I don't like her policies. What do you have a problem with women? Like, the identity politics end really exploded under this man. And so now what he's done, Barack Obama, is try to do what's worked for him in the past. I'm going to distance myself from my policies and my actions by speaking like I'm on a higher plane, some angelic plane that I'm not really part of any of this. And so I don't know if you saw this when he talked about the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. So he's giving this talk about how this is the way of the universe and how justice is the most important aspect and morality. All right, dude, everyone knows at this point you had a big hand in what's going on with Comey and Brennan and you going after Donald Trump because you didn't want him to destroy your legacy with a duly elected president.
There's nothing moral about it.
It was criminal.
There's no justice in it. It's exactly right. It's criminal.
And the only reason he's going to escape it is because you will be able to have the discussion between an unofficial and an official act. And he can basically say, because that's what the Supreme Court found. The Supreme Court found that you can be liable as a president for unofficial acts. What he'll say, very simply, is, well, I didn't like the intel, so I ordered us to go back and look at it. That's an official act.
And they told me. Here's what they told me. This is what they led me to believe.
So that's why he gets to play, oh, I didn't really do anything. You ordered this entire thing.
Your fingerprints are all over it.
But at least we can now look back. And I love how the black community's turned on him. What is it? Mr. Obama
Mr. and
Mr. Obama?
Yeah.
I love how the community's turned on him. I love how now, if you have open eyes, in a lot of cases, people flat out say, what did Barack Obama ever do for the community? Nothing. Just as he never did anything for it in Illinois.
Or anybody, or America.
It was just about getting more power every single time, as communists do. That's what the plan was. That's how it always has been. And now the Obamas are mired in all of this Netflix stuff. Because now when people have started to see what's been marketed to their 7-year-olds, trans politics, and the producers are the Obamas.
Dude, I canceled last night. I canceled Netflix.
I was looking at it going, all right, what are we watching?
Yeah, and I asked my wife, because she's the one that watches most. I was like, is there anything that you watch on here?
If you're not aware, Netflix, it's now gone just beyond one show.
Yeah.
It's a multitude of shows that is in the area that you probably don't even see.
Yeah, because you don't no reason to go there.
You don't go to the kids area.
Yeah.
And the more you start digging into this, the more you start seeing so much of this crazy ideology that we know is a loser across the board. But they're trying to push this to your 7-year-olds and younger now. And again, the Obama fingerprints are all over this thing because he and his wife are the producers of this stuff.
Yeah. I don't know how, with a clear conscience, you keep something that goes so directly in the face of what you believe and how you feel about things. And that's when I was just like, last night I was just talking to my wife, and I was like, I know you watch a lot.
My wife watches the reality shows and all of that.
Laura liked, I think it was called When I Became Pretty or something, and Emily in Paris, and she's got a handful of them that she likes.
The Summer I Turned Pretty.
Yeah, exactly. It's such a weak title.
My 11-year-old, you can get her just like, hey, will you say it? Will you say it? And she goes, a new bombshell has just hit the island. One of those island shows where somebody hot and new has been brought in to stir the pot.
Yeah, sure.
And apparently that's one of the taglines in it.
Reality. They call it some sort of reality.
So that's.
But I just told her, I was like, hey, is it worth it to you to pay for something that goes directly in opposition of what we believe? And we talked about it for a few minutes, and she was like, you know what, you're right. Yeah, just cancel it. And so we did.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, and you know what? Maybe if enough people do it, because Elon Musk talked about it.
Elon tweeted about it. He put it out there last night.
And if enough people do it, maybe it's just like the Cracker Barrel thing. You know, everybody thought it was about the sign. It was never about the sign. It was what they were sponsoring. It's what they were doing behind the scenes that went directly in opposition of what the people that come there, their customer base believes.
Right. They were trying to put butts in seats and redesign to put more butts in seats so they could afford to push more LGBTQ oriented practices that was going against the beliefs of many of the customers there.
So they basically.
Why were you funding your own stuff you didn't agree with?
Yeah, and
here it's really simple. If you want to have a parade, have a parade.
Go do it.
It's just that my dollars get to speak to this stuff now. Have I ever boycotted a company where I've thought, well, this money is going to a place that I don't care for? No. And even with the whole Bud Light thing, I didn't even buy Bud Light on a regular basis. I just looked at it as, because of what's going on, I don't want to be seen drinking a Bud Light.
Yeah.
It wasn't like actively something like I didn't have any more Bud Light. I was like, oh man, Bud Light is bad. I'm not drinking a Bud Light. Had it been like Wonder Bread, I'd been like, oh man, I don't want to have like Wonder Bread in my cart. That's just how it was. And so, yes, this Netflix opportunity is the same thing that you're going to get. And now what you have is cancel culture on both sides. They're doing this. And I'm just glad that it's Barack Obama, of all people, that's now caught up in this.
Isn't it great?
His name's attached to this.
The person that despised the United States to the point where he's reading books talking about the post-American world.
He went on an apology tour.
Yeah, it's just had no love for the country that you love.
I mean, he went into office, when you think about in January of 2009, and he made it a point to go on an apology tour across Europe, in part to apologize for how the United States has conducted itself during the war on terrorism. We made ourselves a target for terrorists all around the world. We took our young men and women and put them in two different theaters. One, definitely a mistake. But we put them into theaters and said, come fight us here. Don't go over into London and bomb any more buses. Don't cause any more issues in Spain or France. Don't try and attack the home front in the United States. Come show up in your backyard and come fight us here. That's what our young people did. And he went to go apologize for that.
Yeah. Just a guy that has no love for this country. I can't believe that we elected a man that does not love the country.
But it was a different time period. And,
I know it was.
And the media had a certain amount of control. And the amount of information we now know about the Obamas.
That we never had before.
Before. To think that I can now go on to Netflix, I can fire up Joe Rogan's last comedy special live from San Antonio and hear him tell one of the most funny jokes about Michelle Obama having a ween.
And is that the one where you're talking about when he's talking about all the conspiracy theories?
He says after COVID, here's all the stuff I now question. That is a funny joke.
So funny.
He's like, I'm not even sure we went to the moon.
That's right.
It's like, but to think that we would never have had that discussion in 2008 or January 2009 or 2012 and said, hey, is that woman really a woman?
You know? Sure it's not Mr. and Mr. Obama?
I mean,
are you sure?
How did that not become part of the zeitgeist now that it is? It's part of the comedy. It's part of the discussion.
But I do believe that, and this is going to sound so cliche, and I get it, but but I believe it with everything that is me. Everything happens for a reason. There is a reason everything happens. Whether your reasoning is like mine, like I believe it's more of a God thing, or is it just the universe working itself out? However you believe, wherever you are in there, everything happens for a reason. Because if all that doesn't happen, if COVID doesn't happen, if all the things that we've been through with Joe Biden didn't happen, we wouldn't be in this place where we are now and have such clarity that we didn't have before.
I believe it's perspective, Tug. It's the perspective of time. To think how do we view Bill Clinton these days? Like, I kind of view him as, when they joke around about he's the first black president, I'm like, yeah, Bill Clinton was cool. And he was kind of a sexual predator and kind of a ladies' man, and Bill's cool. Like, that's what it was. George W. Bush, I think that was a guy who was a pretty classy dude who tried to do the best with a crappy situation. Now, he had the wrong people around him.
There were lots of wrong people.
Which
Trump found out how important that was.
That's perspective.
Having the right people around you.
I think when you go over to Barack Obama, it's, wow, we were sold a bill of goods on a dude that ain't that good of a dude, and you got a question about where he came from and who he was, and that never happened. And to say the perspective of time is going to look back on Donald Trump so much differently than what the historians are. Yeah. So much so that I can tell you this: in 4 short years, he won in a landslide.
Yeah.
Because it took 4 years for America to go, that was better.
Yeah.
Let's get it here.
Let's go back to that.
In fact, we can make the argument he's won 3 times.
That's right. Yeah. Absolutely. He can only be president twice, but he's won 3 times. That's exactly right. When we continue on Extra, Netflix should ask itself, is it a good idea to groom children? Get into some of that next on Extra 106.3.
Latest sports news, powered by 680 The Fan and driven to Extra listeners by RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs, Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Wednesday, October 1st. The Major League Baseball playoffs are underway and continue today. The wild card round continues. The Tigers lead the Guardians 1-0 as Game 2 will start from Cleveland at 1 p.m. this afternoon. As for the Chicago Cubs, they look for a 2-game series lead over the San Diego Padres. That game will begin at 3 p.m. As for the evening action, the New York Yankees, they're at home looking to avoid going down 2-0 to the Boston Red Sox. First pitch there is set for 6 p.m. Then later this evening, after a offensive explosion by the LA Dodgers in Game 1, they look to get a 2-game series lead over the Cincinnati Reds. That game will start at 9 p.m. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
This is Window Nation, your source for affordable replacement windows at the highest quality. So if you've got old, drafty, sticking, or leaking windows, you need the experienced pros at Window Nation. You can pay a lot less and still get the premium windows you're dreaming of. Their custom windows are guaranteed to be a perfect fit, and they're backed by the best warranty in the industry. Go to getwindownation.com or call 866-90NATION for your free estimate. And for a limited time, buy 2 windows, get 2 windows free, plus no payments for 2 years.
Hey, this is Matt from East Cobb. We basically bought our house from our in-laws. It was my wife's childhood home. One of the issues that we've had when we first moved in was our dog in our backyard. It was extremely shaded, could never grow grass back there. We resodded it twice. So ATL Turf Co. did an amazing job with our backyard transformation. They basically created a miniature golf hole. We have a miniature fairway. We also have a miniature little putting green. Consists of about 4 holes, total about 40 yards, so you can definitely work on your short game and your putting. After that transformation that ATL Turf Co. did for us, my father-in-law came and saw his house the way it looked after the fact of we had a putting green and a miniature golf course. Sure enough, he did the same thing with ATL Turf Co. He has a beautiful backyard, wonderful stonework, drainage, and a beautiful practice area for chipping and putting. Check them out online at atlturfco.com.
Ever dreamed of taking batting practice like a big leaguer? Now's your chance to swing for the fences right on the field at Truist Park, just like your favorite Braves players. Grab your crew and enjoy 45 unforgettable minutes of on-field action. Whether you're a diehard fan or just looking for a legendary experience, this is your moment to shine. Visit Braves.com/FanBP to see more details and to purchase this experience starting October 2nd through the 18th. Atlanta Braves Baseball. We are Braves Country.
Oh no, what is that sound?
found?
It's our rejection detection system. It's showing that several men across Georgia are being denied intimacy by their partners due to ED.
How can this be?
Well, it's more common than you think. As men age, their bodies change. And unfortunately, once they get over 50, some things don't work like they used to.
So what do we do?
There's only one thing to do. We need to get them to Dr. Eric Deal at Total Body Therapy of Georgia. He can fix ED problems.
But how?
At Total Body Therapy of Georgia, they are experts in the P-shot, testosterone replacement, regenerative therapy, and Trimex to create an erection and more.
Hi, this is Dr. Eric Deal from Total Body Therapy of Georgia. Did you know that 50% of men over 50 struggle with some form of ED? Guys, it won't get better on its own. When it's not hard, it's really hard. But I can help you today. Call us at Total Body Therapy of Georgia at 404-777-1911 or learn more about us online at tbtofga.com.
This is House Call for Health. A major new global study reveals cardiac events don't strike without warning. It finds people who suffered a heart attack, stroke, or heart failure had at least one major heart risk factor years beforehand. Researchers analyzing the health records of more than 9 million people for a decade. They found more than 99% of patients had one or more risk factors, like high blood pressure and cholesterol, as well as blood sugar levels and tobacco use. The study also notes more than 93% of patients had two or more risk factors. That study was led by Northwestern Medicine and Yonsei University in South Korea. The author, Northwestern University cardiology professor Dr. Philip Greenland, says the goal now is to work harder on finding ways to control these modifiable risk factors rather than to get off track in pursuing other factors that are not easily treatable and not causal. The findings appear in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology. For more health news, go to foxnewshealth.com. House Call for Health, Elisa Brady, Fox News.
Extra 1063 personalities aren't afraid to tell it like it is.
Without Donald Trump, nothing that's going on would be happening right now. Donald Trump is changing the world.
And you'll never hear us spew that violent rhetoric from the left. So don't be afraid to tell it like it is. Because we're happy to have you as part of the Extra community.
I particularly like Donald Trump's actions in getting illegal aliens the hell out of this country.
Extra 1063 and the Extra app.
Tug and Los until 10 on the Morning Extra. 404-741-1230 at Extra 1063 across the social media platforms. Everybody panic. Feel like, was it Jackie Moon in Semi-Pro?
Yes, when the bear gets loose.
Everybody panic! The government shut down, y'all. Everybody panic.
What are we going to do?
What are we going to do?
It's such a big deal that even MSNBC isn't spending much time on it. Morning Joe, if it was, we talk about this on a regular basis with all of you.
Yeah.
When you start to watch the news, and I say the news with the big finger quotes, the news.
Yeah.
When you start to watch it differently, you then understand what is really going on. They won't bring it up because it's damning against the Democrats. They'll touch on it.
Oh, yeah.
They'll probably try and spin it as to like what you're possibly going to miss out on.
Mm-hmm.
This falls completely on the Democrats. And I thought it was Newt Gingrich who said it really well last night. It's like he pointed out, it's like they're stuck in two areas. If they shut it down, they're getting blamed for it. Or they win, they get the spending, they get blamed for it. It's like there's no good outcome here for them. It's like they actually painted themselves into a corner with zero good outcomes.
And now Donald Trump is taking those furloughed employees and going, no, you're not furloughed. You're actually done. We're actually cutting you permanently. We have the ability to cut programs that are not useful, cut programs that are not beneficial, and the people that run those programs will go too. And then you have the, 100,000 people that took the buyout?
That took the buyout that are done.
They're done as of today. And that's, I think, 100,000 federal employees. So you take that, and then you add in anything else that is not beneficial to the American people that Donald Trump, that they have been planning for. They've been waiting for this opportunity, waiting for the moment. We could just cut it. And now the Democrats have handed it to them.
3 of the 4 richest counties in the entirety of this country are all surrounding Washington, D.C. The people there have enriched themselves on the backs of Americans. That's just the fact of the matter. This is just what it comes right down to. And so when you start to see these federal employees on the chopping block. Like, you can't shut it down. He might fire a bunch of us. Well, here's the deal. And the reality that when your Democrat friend starts complaining about this, or they lost their job, or they lost their federal employment, the shutdown, and here's what happened to them, you have to let them know the truth, which is the Democrats chose illegals over government employees, Americans.
That's right. And
they chose illegals.
I saw last night, flipping around, went over to CNN, and it was Caitlin Collins talking to Mike Johnson. And Caitlin Collins and she comes off as the biggest fraud to me. She was trying to...
She's got talking points.
And she sticks to them.
And Johnson ripped them apart.
And drive right back to them. And Johnson was like, no, this is not what's happening. You must understand, they want $1 trillion for illegal immigrants to have health care. Some of those illegal immigrants are people who come here for a variety of reasons. And that's what they want. They want to reinforce everything that Donald Trump has cleaned up, everything that you voted for, even down to defunding NPR and PBS. They wanted that back in there, too.
All right, that's a fun one. Because I was basically prophesized to that nothing was going to happen because they were only drawing about 5% of their money from the federal government, and that they were so strong as an entity, they really didn't need the taxpayer funding. That's so true that the Democrats are willing to shut down the government to put it back in.
They value the content that's shared, that's created there, because it is such an echo chamber for them that they want you to pay for it. That's how much they value it. They're not going to pay for it. They want you to pay for it because that's the way it's worked for so long.
Again, call your billionaires.
Yeah.
Right? You got all of them on the Democrat side. Call your billionaires. Have them fund PBS.
But we learned...
Or NPR.
We learned, though, that George Soros, the biggest funder of all this stuff, wasn't using his own money.
No, he's using our money.
That's exactly right, the whole time. So those billionaires, they don't care about PBS or NPR. They don't want to pay for that. They want you to pay for it. Just like everything else that they've funded. All the things that George Soros has done that you've heard about for years now, that you thought he was stroking the check. That's a Soros DA. While he backed them, it was the money that was laundered to him through USAID, through NGOs that got to him. So then he stroked the check. It wasn't his money. It was yours the whole time.
We've had the data now for the better part of 6 weeks. When it comes to fundraising, the DNC is behind the RNC 5-1. Now that they just have to raise money like everybody else, they're going to have to run on credit. Like, this is a problem for them.
This is a stumbling block
because they're not stealing your money as easily. I'm sure they still have their games.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's not as out in the open. It's not as easy.
And it's not as much.
So let's see how this government shutdown, which, again, as I said to start the segment, MSNBC is not really covering this. Why? Because it's bad for Democrats.
They were just talking about baseball.
They just had an entire segment about the Major League Baseball playoffs. And for somebody who watches Morning Joe, what do we probably get in? 20 hours a week?
Yeah, at least.
You might get 5 minutes of sports.
Maybe.
And that's what they just gave you.
Yeah, because they can't talk about this shutdown. The hashtag Schumer shutdown. They're trying to run from it because they know it's damaging. They're trying to run from it because you don't want it. They're trying to run from it because the government workers don't want it. They're trying to run from it because it's bad all the way around. And you got that, essentially you got that pulled up right there with Maxine Waters, because she all but said, we want health care for everyone. The reporter keeps asking her, you're going to shut down the government. This was yesterday. You're going to shut down the government to make sure that illegals have health care paid for by the American taxpayer. And she goes, wait, you're trying to get me to say something. We want health care for everybody. And I was like, she didn't try to get you to say something. You already said it. You just told us exactly why you're shutting down the government.
Auntie Maxine is so old. Like, she actually will spit out the stuff she's not supposed to say. I love old people, man.
They tell you the truth.
They just flat out, yeah, we're doing that.
That's right.
Yep. Sure, I don't like him.
Yeah.
You know, it's what they do.
Dude, even Donald Trump, because he's up there in age too.
Yeah.
He is blatantly honest at sometimes, even at the Charlie Kirk Memorial flashback. He's up there talking. He said, Charlie always said, forgive, and always said, I want the best for even my opponents. Donald Trump was like, I don't. He was like, Charlie tried to help me, tried to teach me with it. But
Right.
he was being blatantly honest.
I have not gotten to the point where he is at.
That's exactly right. And he's an old guy telling you exactly what
He's an old guy.
I am not pulling for him. I don't want what's best for him. Because in his mind, those people, his opponents, don't want what's best for the United States of America, and he does.
What we're going to have next, we're going to have to watch the bot farm. What's going to now happen, we're going to have this all-out assault on social media, probably for about a 24-hour period. You're going to see things, you're going to be like, what? That doesn't resonate with me. But what you're going to see is this big push for all the things that people are going to be missing out on because of government shutdown. Now, will the mainstream media do it? No, because they know this is problematic for the Democrats. So Democrats are going to try and fundraise and create like this groundswell of, we've got to get them back in office. The bot farms will be working overtime in the next 24 hours. Just mark my words when you watch it.
Watch for the messages. What Pete Hegseth said was deadly accurate. Exactly how we want the U.S. Armed Forces to be. Next on Extra 106.3, Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Tug and Los, until 10.
It's time for the Bortz Report, exclusively on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Extra 106.3.
The left keeps whining, and oh, do they ever whine about Donald Trump being an authoritarian. You want to see an authoritarian? Put me in charge for a week or two. Let me go out there and just make the laws I want to make and have them enforced. Yes, I have a list. It'll make Donald Trump look weak. Okay, Bort's Law. Here we go. If you run from the police in a car when you are finally stopped, the law will state that you must be pulled out of that car, not by a policeman, but by a police canine. Give you something to think about while you're running. Shoplifters. If you are convicted of shoplifting, the punishment will be that your home will be opened to a group of really poor people who will be allowed to run into your home and take whatever they want without any compensation for you. Scammers. All attempts at scamming somebody out of their money, like these emails telling you that you have won a marvelous tool set from Home Depot, will be punished as if you had been successful. You won't be rewarded for failure. Capital punishment. If you're convicted of a capital crime and sentenced to death, all appeals must be carried out within 90 days and the execution set within 1 week of your final appeal. And you will die the same way your victim died. Idiots who block highways in protests. You will be allowed to proceed through the protesters at idle speed. Just take your foot off the brake and roll forward. Any faster than that, it leaves the authorities with the cleanup job. And that's just my first week. You haven't seen authoritarianism yet. I'll show you an authoritarian. Neil Bortz, Extra 106.3.
Need a break from all the political talk? Tune into Holy Crap It's Sports with Pete Davis every weekday at 5:20 on The Kimmer Show. It's your daily dose of what's hot in the sports world, from the field to the locker room, with Pete's unfiltered opinion and a side of laughs. It's smart, it's funny, it's sports with edge. Holy Crap It's Sports. Catch it at 5:15 only on The Kimmer Show on Extra 106.3.
Saving you money, I'm Hillary Barsky. In the past, have you tried creating a budget only to soon give up? Maybe you just haven't found the right budgeting strategy yet. One popular approach is the 50-30-20 rule, which is simple compared to many other strategies because it only has 3 categories. The first is needs. 50% of your budget goes to essentials like rent or mortgage payments, utilities, groceries, healthcare, and transportation. The second is wants, and 30% goes to discretionary spending on things like dining out, shopping, vacation, donations and streaming services. The final category is savings and or financial goals, which includes contributing to your IRA or 401k, investing in mutual funds and other investments, or saving cash in an emergency fund. This category also includes paying off debt. While minimum debt payments are part of the needs category, extra payments that help pay off the principal and hopefully get you out of debt faster are considered savings. Saving you money, Hillary Barsky, Fox News.
WFOM and W292 EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. The 8 a.m. hour is brought to you by Central Heating and Air.
This is a Fox News alert. A lot of work in the federal government is coming to a halt. I'm Dave Anthony. After Congress failed to provide funding by the midnight deadline.
How is this good for the country? Nobody wins with a shutdown.
Republican Senator Rick Scott also tells Fox he thinks Congress should not get paid like federal employees affected. And he blames Democrats for blocking the House-passed bill that would have provided 7 weeks of funding.
What are the Democrats doing? This is a clean resolution. All we're doing is keeping the funding. Actually, the funding is too high. It's still the Biden funding. But I don't want to shut down government, so I support it.
The Senate's Minority Leader, Chuck Schumer, says it's Republicans' fault.
The bottom line is we're not going to negotiate this bill in public. We need to come to a bipartisan solution that protects America's health care.
Now, they want to add provisions to extend Obamacare subsidies that will expire at the end of the year and make coverage more expensive. The shutdown could furlough or even lay off hundreds of thousands of federal employees. Others who have to keep working, like federal law enforcement, won't get paid till there's new funding.
Mail, Social Security checks, and student loan bills are still being delivered. Airports are running. Those workers are considered essential and are expected to show up unpaid for now. The Interior Department's keeping national park roads and open-air memorials open during the shutdown with minimal, if any, restroom cleaning or trail clearing services. Members of the military are working without pay with some services on bases limited.
That's Fox's Chris Foster. Can AI help us beat cancer? President Trump hopes so.
I'm thrilled to sign a very historic executive order to massively accelerate pediatric cancer research and harness the extraordinary potential of artificial intelligence to fight this terrible disease.
He's also increasing funding for AI use at the Department of Health and Human Services. There's a search for children feared trapped alive in Indonesia, where a school collapsed Monday. At least 91 teenage students unaccounted for, so the number of deaths, now 3, is expected to rise. At least 69 people died in the Philippines when the earthquake, the magnitude 6.9 jolt that also may have people trapped. America's listening to Fox News.
It's Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and LifeLock is here with tips to help protect your identity. Use strong passwords, set up multi-factor authentication on your accounts, report phishing, and update your software on all your devices. And for comprehensive identity protection, LifeLock is your best choice. LifeLock not only alerts you to suspicious uses of your personal information, but also fixes identity theft, guaranteed, or your money back. So stay smart, stay safe, and stay protected with a 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use the promo code BECK. Terms do apply.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com, because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, E-T-H-O-S, ethos.com/Mike.
No traffic, no big deal. It's the Morning Extra on 106.3.
Tug and Los until 10. Thank you for being here on the Morning Extra. Good morning to you. It's a
you're halfway home.
It's a slow day in D.C. out here. Just nothing going on. Just quiet in the nation's capital.
Can I ask a question for?
Of course.
I mean, it's not like you can really do a whole lot on this case, but for the people like Tommy who's been frustrated with the app, have we gotten all? I saw that almost every other show got all of their data back up and working.
Oh wow!
And we're the only ones who still don't have it down yet. So just so everyone knows who listens on the app, first off, thank you for listening on the app live. But for those of you who go back and listen to the show on the app, for a couple of days, our system, not only on our station, but our sister station, both of them went down. So none of the shows are being archived in the way that they typically are. And so engineering was working on it. We went through like an app change and some other stuff. And I think everyone is back to normal except for us right now. Hopefully today.
That hurts. That sucks.
I know.
That's the worst.
But it's hard to explain that when
I know.
I was like, listen, I want to get you the show. And I know you listen kind of in delay.
And if I'm not mistaken, Tommy
who reached out, he was like, hey, just want to give you a heads up.
And I think he's in Colorado, I think. I'd have to verify that. But
Tommy's going to get this
from here
3 or 4 hours later.
I know. From here, but lives out in Colorado. His handle's like Braves Dog, So, I mean, he's a Georgia fan and a Braves fan, so obviously keeps up, probably listens to our sister station, The Fan, 680 and 93.7 FM.
That's what's been happening.
Wheels in the Braves season. Now that that's gone, probably not as much.
Our last show that I think is archived and working correctly, I think it was last Wednesday or Thursday. So we've got a couple that are, but we'll try and get everything working back correctly again.
We got our fingers crossed.
Yes. Today's the day. And if it doesn't, blame Tug.
Yes, I'll take all the blame. Just shoot all the arrows.
Has nothing to do with Jure or I. We're here doing our job.
That's right.
Tug is just, he's slipping a little bit.
And low down.
He can't be trusted. Tug went outside to say hi to the sales staff. Just told everybody good morning in his very Tug fashion, Jerry. And I go, would you stop lying to them? I was like, that you just talk about them as soon as you turn the corner and get in over here. It's like they don't know the many faces of Tug.
Here, sales crew just getting slaughtered on Extra.
Yeah. That's right. He comes in here and he's like, they're all good for nothing.
They ain't no good. They ain't selling enough. They ain't promoting enough. They ain't doing nothing.
But when he walks out there, he's like, hey, good morning, everyone.
What's up, fellas?
Hey, everybody.
Gosh,
how are you all?
I hope your day's going well.
Would you like me to get you a coffee?
Yeah, that's right.
Anybody need anything?
That's right. Hey, I tell you, about half of
turns
our
the corner.
Staff,
sons of bitches.
That's right. Half of our sales staff listen to this station with regularity.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. In fact,
my favorite.
Actually, I ran into Roser in the hallway, and he just goes, "Hey, can you fix this whole Chuck Schumer shutdown thing?" And I go, "We're working on it.
Man, we're
working on it, Roser.
We're trying to hold their feet to the fire as best we can."
That's right. We're talking about it all morning,
and we'll talk about it, and we'll continue to, but. The folks on MSNBC, they're it's top of the hour, so they've got to. Los talked about the way you watch news. Once you figure out the way that they present things, the places that they put things, is how much value that they have on it. They know that this is the biggest story, without a doubt, biggest story.
And by the way, what they've done is they're now highlighting an article from The Atlantic.
Yeah, which
saying
is
that Trump
really
was
good.
That Trump was planning on shutting down the government. So you need to push blame to somewhere else. Now, again, they're not doing it. This is another game that the media plays. The media will take another media member who wrote what they think and then turns it into, well, I'm not saying it. The Atlantic is saying it.
It's the classic.
Proof.
It's the classic straw man argument, right? So you could just.
I mean, you and we take different stories and we may reinforce them or tear them apart.
Yeah.
Whereas if it comes up in the media, it's never to tear it apart. It's to tell you, look, we didn't say this. This entity did.
This is what's being said. But you need to know that this is how everybody feels. Not just the Atlantic. Everybody feels this way.
Right. This is so obvious, clearly.
Yeah. I don't know how you missed it. And the Atlantic got it. So I'm glad they're here to make sure that everybody gets the correct information, the proper context.
By and large, government shutdowns, when they do occur, I think it's much ado about nothing.
Me too.
Like a long one that we had, 2018 was like 17 days.
Yeah.
Was it so catastrophic you remember?
No. I mean, I would have to physically go look it up to see how many days it was and when it was.
Because they always will tell you the same thing. If this continues, Grandma's not getting her check. Grandma always gets her check.
No.
All right? Like every fear tactic they use, it never works out.
The Pentagon's going to shut down too. No, it's not. The military's still doing its thing.
Those aircraft carriers, they're going to stop running. They're nuclear.
Yeah, they're not. Not at all. The submarines are not. And the people that aren't getting paid right now, if it lasts 2 weeks, so they do miss a paycheck, they will get it on the other end. Does it cause issue for real people? In that instance, yeah, it does.
3 of the 4 richest counties in the entirety of the country surround D.C.
Guess who ain't missing a paycheck? Guess who will be okay if they do miss a paycheck? Everybody in those 3 counties surrounding D.C. Because they're not real Americans. They're not the people that need that you know, like those enlisted guys, those young enlisted guys that lived probably paycheck to paycheck. I know I did. The beauty and the safety net of that is, especially in the Navy, because that's the one I can speak to, you're on board a ship that will give you 3 squares. Even though your check isn't going to come in because of a government shutdown. Yes, you'll get it down the road, but you are not going to starve to death. You're getting 3 squares.
Tug was so rich on that ship, he could afford to light a cigarette, not smoke it, and just let it burn for 15 or 20 minutes.
That's the only way you got a break.
And he would just take his break, just letting that cigarette burn. And he was well off enough to just light cigarettes and not even touch them.
They weren't as expensive back in 1995, 6, 7, and 8, 9, and then early 2000. They weren't quite as...
they weren't as pricey?
Yeah, and then me and my buddy Aaron, we would split it because he would do the same. He didn't smoke either, but this is the only way you got a break was to do a smoke break. Be like, I'm going to go have a cigarette. And nobody batted an eye. If you just said, hey, I'm going to go walk around the ship for 10 minutes, take a break, they're like, no, you're not.
But if you said, I'm going to go have a smoke, okay.
All right, catch up with you in a little bit. So we just started using the system against itself, right? We would split the pack of cigarettes, and sometimes we would just, it was almost like WWE tag team.
Tag me in, light me up.
I would just be holding it, and he'd be coming out. It's like, all right, man, I've been out here like 15 minutes here. Do you want to hold it for a little while? And I'll go back
It's
up.
like a baton.
Yeah, it's kind of.
Great.
Yeah, it is. You just work the system. You have to.
But that's, and again, as a man who served in the Navy, who was wondering where that check was going to come from, when you had a government shutdown, you weren't thinking, so how am I going to pay for mama's medicine?
No.
It's like, no, I'm at sea. I'm not doing that anyway. Like,
Yeah.
it'll get taken care of.
Yeah, we'll be just fine. We'll be just fine. And our men and women in uniform will be just fine. And there are safety nets with the USO. There's organizations that can lend a hand if need be. I don't expect that the government shutdown will last very long.
The way it's trending, yeah.
The Democrats know that they cannot have this drag out because the Republicans passed a clean CR in the House, sent it over, and said, here you go. This is doing nothing more than funding. That's all it's doing.
We didn't load up any weird projects.
Nothing.
Again, this is from Mike Johnson, and as he put it, it's like, listen, it's public. Take a look. There is nothing in here that is somehow over and beyond anything we've been doing. There's no strange cuts. There's no strange spending. There's no things that are going to be detrimental to you. And the Democrats looked at it as, here's our opportunity to stack on some wish list. That's why it's not a clean CR. That's why you're at this point. And so now the media, and notably MSNBC, is having to go to their media allies to try and tell a different story, which is, well, the Republicans are lying about what the Democrats wanted in here. The fact that it's $1.7 trillion in additional spending, and here are the areas, I don't care about how technical the Republicans are being. If there's somebody who's here legally, who's going to get some sort of health care benefit, albeit as tiny as it is, that still fits exactly what I'm not looking to fund.
Which is what we voted for Donald Trump to stop.
I was excited about NPR having to work on its own.
And make it
PBS,
on, make it
on your own.
That's right.
I told you the water is warm. Come on in, compete with Tug and I. In the arena of ideas, let's see how good you are at trying to live outside of government money and just be good at broadcasting good content.
And we've learned very quickly.
They don't want to do it.
They don't want to do it.
They have zero interest.
And the Democrats don't want them to have to do it. They want you to pay for it. That's the thing. They will continue. And it was funny to see Mike Johnson just dismantle Caitlin Collins because she tried to do exactly what you were describing that MSNBC is trying to do now. She's taking these talking points and she presented them to Mike Johnson. Mike Johnson said, no, what you're saying is factually wrong. And he said it to her face. He did it very respectfully in his bow tie kind of way. And he was just like, she was like, well, you have to agree. You know, she's setting the premise, as you always say. You have to agree that these illegals that would be getting health care are asylum seekers, and they're you know, she gave a bunch of different categories. And Mike Johnson was like, no, I do not agree with that. I think you are completely wrong in your presentation to this audience about what's happening and causing this government shutdown.
That's the spin. It's always a spin. Well, these are asylum seekers. All right, if we want to talk about seeking asylum, and you're saying that, hey, we brought in a bunch of South Africans, I do know that those people were getting murdered for their land and what they're, and so seeking asylum, all right, you probably got an argument. If you're coming from Venezuela, you probably have an argument. If you happen to be, a Muslim from China, you probably have an argument. But what occurred during the Biden administration was a general, here's what you say. So no matter what, all of them,
they were trained up.
We're all seeking asylum. So to say it's asylum seekers, I'll be like, sorry. The rest of y'all messed it up for everyone else who's legitimately seeking asylum and looking for U.S. benefits until they have their day in court here.
That's right. Which could be 7 to 10 years.
Don't know when.
You have no idea. That's if they decide to show back up. There's so many loopholes. There's so many things. They would tell you that, no, there's no illegal immigrants getting health care that you're paying for. They would also tell you there's no illegal immigrants voting, and we know that's not true.
They're not on any voter rolls. They can't get driver's licenses.
That was the next thing I was going to say.
That's funny.
The next thing out of my mouth was going to be, they're not getting driver's licenses until you see all of them, because there's a whole routine. There's a whole way that it's specifically in California that we've seen where you apply for your Social Security even though you're not supposed to get it, and because of that application, you can go in and then get a driver's license, even though neither one of them are or should be.
The one that surprised me that Tug brought up the other day, he was like, "Oh, you've got to see this," and I remember I just kind of glanced at it. It was one of those, "Hey, I'm tired. I'm trying to watch a little bit of football." I didn't really kind of understand what I was looking at. When you had the CDL licenses,
dude,
where it doesn't even list a name.
No name listed is what it, like literally take
no
out
name given.
Yeah, no name given. That's right. You take out your driver's license and look where it says your name, and it says no name given.
No name given. We were seeing the state of California, and I think the other one that was like the primary one was like Oregon, that were handing out these commercial driver's licenses where people could operate multi-ton vehicles on our nation's highways. And yet we didn't even have a name for these people.
Dude.
It was listed as no name given. State of New York.
New York doing
CDL license.
All the blue cities and states.
So if you're seeing that, is it really that hard to imagine that the Democrats are fighting for $1.7 trillion in order to spend healthcare dollars? They're saying, like, we're spending it on Americans, trying to protect America. You're spending it on people who are not supposed to be here.
New York, California, Oregon, as you mentioned, Minnesota. There's so many of these. Of course. And then you can go back and look at, there's so many people on the voter rolls that are not supposed to be there. They assured you. They told you, it's never going to happen. It's just never going to happen. They can't vote because they don't have a license. And then you give them license. Guess what they do? They go vote. And this is... It's not like it just an illegal immigrant stumbling into a voter, a place of voting, a polling place. They've been instructed. They've been told to do it. The Democrat. I mean, there was NGOs that would physically teach people how to go vote illegally, and you paid for it.
I'm going to give you two things that are currently trending on X. This is encouraging. The first one is Schumer shut down.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that's going well. That's resonating with people. He's getting blamed for this. And when you, again, talk about the lack of leadership within that party, or at least strong leadership, this is the reason why I don't know if she's going to run for president. I think it makes more sense for AOC to try and take Schumer's seat and take a larger place of power. I don't know if she can actually win the kind of vote she would need to in New York, and he would have just a giant bankroll against her. The other one is the ACA. That's trending as well. And so at least we're now having discussions.
People realizing
that this is a total sham. It's a total game.
Yeah, it's all about extending those benefits to illegals that they promised you, that they told you. And there, Guy Benson from Fox News Channel, he's just posted the speech that Obama gave. I'm trying to figure out, I don't see a date on it, but regardless, the feed is from CNN, and this was Obama making a statement over the government shutdown, excoriating, this is Guy Benson's description of it, excoriating his political opposition for forcing a government shutdown over health care policy disagreements. That's exactly what's happening today. Isn't it amazing how, depending on which way the political winds are blowing, who raises Cain about political shutdowns. Barack Obama doing it then. The Democrats are doing it now. And it's something that Los and I have talked about 1,000 times. Good. Shut it down. Fine.
Every time we've called for one, in the history of this station, it never happens. And now it's here.
Now it's finally here.
We're like, go ahead, shut it down. I'll play chicken with you. So much of this is which way the wind's blowing. And if the Democrats were in a stronger position in terms of how they're viewed around the country, they would probably be able to really hurt the Republicans here. It doesn't appear they're going to be able to do it. And so I would imagine that this is something that by this evening, we're going to see them starting to break. Because they were already, as you pointed out, John Fetterman, and you had four other Democrats.
Yeah.
They were in the Senate. They were already like, hey.
They voted in favor of keeping the government open.
We don't want to go down this road with you.
Passing the House CR in the Senate. And then John Thune, the Senate Majority Leader, said that they were going to re-vote today. I assume that's going to happen. I saw that early this morning. It was an interview that he did late last night, saying that they were going to try to bring it back to the Senate floor to move this along.
They're going to find out pretty quickly that this is not a fight right now, unless something wildly changes and the government cannot respond to it in a timely manner. I think the Democrats end up caving on this. But we'll see. Because, again, they're in a rock and a hard place.
And the part that gets left out a lot, too, is the fact that their constituency, the people that actually support the Democrats still, which is a very small number, they do not want them working with Donald Trump. It's the TDS. It won't allow them to see the benefit of actually not doing what they're doing and taking the abuse because of it.
General America, including independents, are screaming the same thing. Stop spending! And the Democrats like, well, we wanted to spend some more. Stop spending on illegals! Well, we're trying to do it for them. Okay, those are two losing areas.
Yeah, absolutely right. When we continue on Extra 106.3, the left is practicing righteous violence. This is something that Los spent a lot of time prepping yesterday. This righteous violence in their own mind, anyway. Story time with Front Office Los. Get your pencil and piece of paper out. Take you some notes. You about to go to school on Extra 106.3.
Start your day with Tug and Los on the Morning Extra from 6 to 10. Then it's Glenn Beck, Clay and Buck at noon, and the Kimmer Show on your ride home from 3 to 6. And hang out every night for Jesse Kelly at 6 and Jimmy Fela at 9. And stream it all live in crystal clear HD on the Extra 106.3 app.
Welcome to Willie's Wings, home of the secret sauce.
I'll take a dozen wings. Oh, by the way, I love that sauce. What's in it?
Can't tell you.
Why not?
It's a secret.
While many financial advisors claim to have the secret sauce, they don't. In fact, if their sauce is so good, why are they keeping it a secret? Evan Ward of Atlas Retirement doesn't keep anything a secret. He knows there's much more to retirement planning than stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. Evan will develop a strategy designed specifically for you. It's your own secret sauce for retirement. Call Evan Ward at Atlas Retirement to schedule your personal portfolio x-ray today. Call 678-252-5224. That's 678-252-5224. Or online at atlasretirement.net.
Fine, you want to know what's in the sauce?
Absolutely.
Tablespoon of paprika.
Really?
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor.
You should never need financing for a simple garage door repair, but it's happening here. Out-of-town companies have invaded Atlanta for a cash grab, charging outrageous prices. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage, Entry Doors, and Windows. Stay local and stay on budget for every opening of your home. All Four Seasons, trusted in Atlanta for over 25 years. Exceptional customer service, and fair, honest pricing. When trust matters, trust us. All the number 4 seasonsgarages.com.
I'm Gianna Gelosi with your Fox True Crime Minute. Officials are laying out a timeline of the 1991 murders of 4 teenage girls in Austin, Texas, after identifying a suspect last week, describing him as a potential serial killer linked to cases around the country. On Friday, police named Robert Eugene Brashers as a suspect in the quadruple murder known as the Yogurt Shop murders. On December 6, 1991, teenagers Amy Ayers, Eliza Thomas, and sisters Jennifer and Sarah Harbison were found naked, bound, gagged, and shot at a yogurt store where 2 of them worked. The building was then set on fire. Recently, shell casings and DNA evidence were reevaluated, and a match was found out of a South Carolina lab connected to a 1990 sexual assault and murder tied to Brasher's. The same DNA profile linked Brasher's to a 1998 shooting of a murder in Missouri and the 1997 rape of a 14-year-old in Tennessee. The DNA also matched DNA on the yogurt shop girl's sexual assault kits. Brasher's died by suicide in 1999, shooting himself during a standoff with police. There's more on the story at foxnews.com or subscribe to the Fox True Crime Podcast. I'm Gianna Gelosi with your Fox True Crime Minute.
Securing America.
Secretary of War Pete Hegseth addressed hundreds of America's top military commanders in Virginia Tuesday, opening with a very simple message.
Welcome to the War Department, because the era of the Department of Defense is over.
A department, he says, that will have only one main mission:
preparing for war and preparing to win.
Hegseth also issued this warning.
Should our enemies choose foolishly to challenge us, they will be crushed by the violence, precision, and ferocity of the War Department.
The Secretary also announced qualifications for all combat positions will be set at the highest male standards.
Because this job is life or death.
President Trump also spoke to the commanders, promising to always have their back. Kevin Uretsky, Fox News.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
Here are your Georgia headlines for Wednesday, October 1st. Cobb County law enforcement participated in a statewide operation called Watchful Eye, targeting registered sex offenders who violated the terms of their release. Officials say the operation led to multiple arrests after stricter monitoring and coordinated checks across Georgia. The sheriff's office stressed that these efforts are part of ongoing work to ensure community safety. State investigators are working to determine what sparked a fire at a Cobb County church Monday night. The fire happened at Prayer City Eagles Chapel in Austell. Multiple fire departments responded and battled the flames for hours. No injuries were reported, but church leaders say they received threats days before the fire, including messages promising damage and violence. And Georgia voters have until October 6th to register or update their registration ahead of the November Public Service Commission and municipal elections. The November 4th ballot will include 2 statewide Public Service Commission seats and local races for mayor, city council, and school boards. Today's weather partly cloudy with a high of 80 degrees. With your headlines, I'm Jerry Payne for Extra 106.3.
8 o'clock hours brought to you by Central Heating and Air Conditioning, your Atlanta carrier expert. 770-GET-HEAT. CentralHeat.com is the website. Lowe said he put more effort and more work into this story time than any in recent memory, right? I mean, you're digging up notes, and
this was a couple hours worth of fun stuff.
Yeah. So let's get to it. Get your pen, your paper, or however you take notes out, and get ready to learn.
Settle in and get comfortable, folks. It's story time with Uncle Los.
Oh, yes. Thank you to Jure. Thank you to Tug.
You betcha.
And America. And your business name right here eventually. This
Come on.
Prime Real Estate.
404-741-1230 will get you connected with the right people to sponsor story time.
So I want to tell you about a story that really is about righteous violence and what the left is practicing right now. When they're in the streets, when they're getting on top of buildings, when they're shooting at Charlie Kirk or shooting at ICE, this is their righteous violence. But I want to go back. We're going to start off with this really where they're grabbing energy from. I'm going to take you all the way back to 1800. Connecticut. 1800.
Connecticut.
Where there was a young man born to a very religious family. We're talking like it wasn't just about a little bit of Bible study. We're talking like detailed Bible study. And we'll call this man for now, like his rap name, Young John.
I love it.
All right. And so Y-U-N-G, Young John. All right. You got a little John, you got a Young John. And so this man grew up in this very religious family where his parents, because of their adherence to the Bible, they looked at all life as being precious, as being given by God, all men and women. Naturally, the family also detested slavery of the era. That was part of the upbringing. And so Young John, he was looking to actually join the ministry. As he was a young man, 16, 17, 18, he moves off to go and study. Now, here was the interesting part about him. This man had an encyclopedic knowledge of the Bible, backwards and forwards, had it completely memorized, knew it from the time he was young. He could go into any part of the Bible and quote it without an issue. But here was the problem. He had like some form of like a dyslexia. And so study was like really problematic. And so he ended up not being able to get through ministry. He was not able to get through the schooling end of it.
You mean there was a standard?
There was a standard. Imagine that was going on.
Surprising.
So, not rapper, Young John, ended up growing up into a man, and he had various professions. He worked with animal skins. He was like a tanner. He worked with wool, and he actually got married 2 different times. Now, we're talking about like death in the family. This is, again, the 1800s. It's like 1825 at this point. And the man ended up having 20 kids. Now, not all of them survived, but he was prolific.
Son, he'd been listening to Charlie Kirk.
In what he was doing. He was like, hey, we're getting after this. And there was something else about them. Because of his strong faith and what he taught them, they all hated slavery too. So he was known, no matter where he lived around the country, he would live amongst free slaves. And he would refer to them as Mr. and Mrs., especially when he had other white people in his company. It was his form of obviously showing respect. This was a guy who did not care for what was going on. But as he grew older, this is where the activism started. It wasn't just about, I have my faith, I looked like I was going to join the ministry, now I'm becoming more of an activist. He would end up meeting key people within the abolitionist movement. Again, this is rapper Young John, not a rapper. And so what was so different about the abolitionist movement at that time is that as the Whig Party was disappearing and the Republican Party was taking on steam, even their primary people within the party, like, for instance, Abraham Lincoln, you can go back to the Lincoln-Douglas debates. He's not talking about the end of slavery in terms of we need to force this to happen around the country. He's talking about it until America will end up finding its greatness. It'll be about slavery will fade away. Like, it'll just go away from society. Now, the Northern Democrats, they kind of argued on the fact that, well, we'll see what happens. The Southern Democrats were like, hell no. This is part of our way of life. This is how we're going to live this way. Well, Young John, he ended up meeting somebody and ended up working with him. It's Harriet Tubman. Started working on the Underground Railroad. He also befriended Frederick Douglass. And they would talk about how slavery would eventually come to an end in America. But, again, distinctly different from the abolitionist movement. Young John believed it was going to have to be through violence. Lots and lots of violence. So let's fast forward now. 1854. Young John's now 54 years old. And in the United States, what we have going on is a contested issue. Free states and slave states and how they're entering into the Union. And what was happening is Congress was constantly having to basically compromise on how this was going to work because they didn't want to have an unbalance of power. You didn't want too many slave states. You didn't want too many free states because the idea was they'll both go at each other. And not that it'll end in civil war, but what happens when you don't have enough representation? Suddenly the other side starts to bully you. Well, here's how this ends up playing out. You end up with Bleeding Kansas. Now, that's something you might remember from your history books way back in the day. What it was during the Kansas-Nebraska Act. And Kansas, as a state, was basically left up to, well, let's see who moves there. They can vote whether they want it to be a free state or a slave state. This was a problem. Now, if you can imagine, we're talking about activism, and we're talking about what people will do to this very day. Well, during that time period, people moved into the state, including Young John, who I will now tell you is John Brown. All right? John Brown took his family into that state. So when slavers, that's what they were known as in Kansas, attacked a free settlement in Lawrence, John Brown, now, this was attributed to him and attributed to his sons, and they never had this pinned on them, but it was believed, here's what happened. In retaliation for that attack, people that were rumored to have been part of it, John Brown and his sons dragged them from their home and butchered them to death. They hacked them apart. So this ends up being now where John Brown is no longer the abolitionist. I mean, he is in name. He's no longer the guy who's advocating for the end of slavery. He's now a terrorist for the end of slavery. That's who he is. Now, 200 people would end up being killed in Bleeding, Kansas. So this would kept going back and forth. So I then want to fast forward you to 1859. The country is on the brink of civil war. We are coming up on the upcoming election. You have the Northern Democrats, you have the Southern Democrats, and you have the Republicans. And the belief is if Abraham Lincoln is going to end up being president, you're going to have mayhem go on. Well, John Brown, he made the decision. Terrorist violence, can he create a slave revolt? Will that end slavery in the United States before we get to this point, before we hit civil war? And he had actually met with Frederick Douglass to talk about it. And Douglass told him flat out, don't do this. Your plan that you have, do not carry out this plan of attack. Didn't matter. John Brown was fully committed to it. And what did he do? He took a small force to the U.S. Armory at Harper's Ferry in Virginia. And the plan was, we're going to take over the armory. Harriet Tubman is going to alert the local slaves. They'll descend on the armory. We will then have a slave revolt. And this is what's going to kick off everything. This is what's going to end slavery. We're going to have it's going to be a big fight. You'll have the slaves that'll go at all of the slave masters in the area and all the plantations. And this is going to kick it off. This is how we're going to end slavery in the United States. One big problem, Harriet Tubman was sick. Never got the word out to anybody. She was bedridden at the time. So what happens? John Brown, his forces, which was not a lot, it was like 11 guys, 12 guys. They end up taking over the armory. And then you had the Federals roll in that happened to be led by Robert E. Lee. And they went ahead and took back the armory. Now, here's how we kind of wrap up this story time. So John Brown, basically, he ends up being tried for an insurrection, right? And so what happens, though, is he's basically representing himself. He speaks in front of the media. He speaks in front of the country as he's on trial. And people go, man, this guy's, he like has an encyclopedic knowledge of the Bible. And he's talking about how it is our responsibility to get rid of the fact that in God's eyes, we're all created equal. Yet this is not what's happening in this country. Now, keep in mind, this is a guy who butchered people to death in this country. Like, he was a terrorist. That's what it turned into. In fact, people used to be afraid at night that old John Brown would show up at their plantation. Like, that was part of the fear of what was going on. Well, here's the deal. And this will get ready to play this one piece of audio for you. So he was hung after the attack on Harper's Ferry. When word ended up spreading of the attack, you had soldiers that started mocking John Brown. There was a song known as John Brown's Body. It was a marching song. It was meant to mock the guy who actually thought he could change the United States through violence and through an insurrection. Here's what the song is, by the way. There was a woman named Julie Ward who heard this as they were mocking John Brown and rewrote it to become the battle hymn of the Republic. Glory, glory, hallelujah. The original, all this, is mocking John Brown. Wow.
Battle hymn of the Republic. It's sweet. It makes the hair on the back of my neck stand up.
A song that was created to mock the guy who thought he could start this big fight and that he could end slavery through violence. Again, through violence, through terrorist violence. Ends up having the song rewritten to stop from mocking him to become the battle hymn of the Republic. Now, here's what I need to point out as we get to our close. So Abraham Lincoln would win the election. The Civil War is now on. What John Brown advocated for actually happened. 4 years of carnage, death, and violence that our country had never seen before. Now, why does that all matter to today? Like, why go through that entire story and tell you the story of John Brown and the battle hymn of the Republic? Because he felt his violence, albeit as brutal and ugly and disastrous as it could be, was justified. And what you now have, Tug, you brought it up, John Brown Gun Club. You have all of these organizations currently on the left that feel that the righteous violence is necessary against this country. That if you really want to change us away from Trump and fascism and conservative, just as John Brown did, you have these people that feel compelled to take up arms like they've been called upon to do so. John Brown did it because he felt he had a biblical responsibility to Jesus, his God, his maker, to do this. This is the same fervor that the left currently has. And the fact that they're using John Brown's name, a guy who was willing to do this to try to end slavery, albeit again, terrorist acts. It's what he did. It's ugly. It's brutal. He killed people. All right, like he butchered them and shot them because it was all in the interest of we have to take the abolitionist movement and we got to kick it into overdrive. And he was right. And it turned into what it turned into, which ultimately was civil war. This is where the left is going with all of this. This is why they're talking about John Brown. This is why you wonder, why do these people keep shooting up these places? What is this? Where's this energy coming from?
Righteous violence.
Righteous violence. They have built it into the only way to deal with the fascists.
The fascists, yeah.
So when they call you fascist or Nazi, I know it's water off a duck's back. That is a signal to these John Brown wannabes. You got to make a move on these people. You got to intimidate them because we don't have power. The left doesn't have any power right now. So what do they have? Violence. And so when they use John Brown's name, that's where it comes from. That's the origins of it, and that's what they're trying to turn into their own, as if this society currently is as ugly as what we were dealing with during the 1850s, and it needs an 1860s type of cleansing. That's story time.
John Brown Gun Club, leftist gun club, originally based in Kansas. This is the organization that was paired with the armed queers of SLC, the ones that were passing out flyers at Charlie Kirk's death.
Righteous violence is the way they look at it.
So when they call you fascist, when they call you Nazi, just like Los is saying, when the politicians pour the gas on the fire, it is intentional. It is with intent. Incredible story time. If you missed any of it or would like to reference it, it'll be available on the Xtra 106.3 app. Los knocked it out of the park again. 8 o'clock hour brought to you by Central Heating and Air Conditioning, your Atlanta carrier expert. 770-GET-HEAT, centralheat.com. When we come back, CNN handed Donald Trump a big win and even a new midterm campaign ad. Next on Xtra.
The latest sports news, powered by 680 The Fan, and driven to Xtra listeners by RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs, Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Wednesday, October 1st. The Major League Baseball playoffs are underway and continue today. The wild card round continues. The Tigers lead the Guardians 1-0 as Game 2 will start from Cleveland at 1 p.m. this afternoon. As for the Chicago Cubs, they look for a 2-game series lead over the San Diego Padres. That game will begin at 3 p.m. As for the evening action, the New York Yankees, they're at home looking to avoid going down 2-0 to the Boston Red Sox. First pitch there is set for 6 p.m. Then later this evening, after a offensive explosion by the LA Dodgers in Game 1, they look to get a 2-game series lead over the Cincinnati Reds. That game will start at 9 p.m. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
This is Window Nation, your source for affordable replacement windows at the highest quality. So if your old windows have you boiling in the summer and freezing in the winter, you need the pros at Window Nation with installation precision and experience that are second to none. Their custom windows are guaranteed to be a perfect fit, and they're backed by the best warranty in the industry. Go to getwindownation.com or call 866-90NATION for your free estimate. And for a limited time, buy 2 windows, get 2 windows free, plus no payments for 2 years.
Hey, this is John Flading from ATL Turfco. We're a family-owned and operated independent local company here in the Atlanta area. We've been in business for over 15 years. We install sell several different types of artificial grass. One is landscape, which looks like real grass for your lawn. The next one is pet turf. Pet turf is a little bit shorter than landscape, and it's more durable. And the other one is putting greens. If you can dream it, we can build it. Just go to atlturfco.com to schedule an appointment.
Hey there, I'm Tara, owner and publisher of Our Town Monthly, where you'll find familiar faces, local businesses, and exciting events like the 8th annual Paulding Pro Rodeo.
Hey, I'm Seth with Bice Rodeo Productions, partnering with Southern Rodeo Company, a family-owned and local rodeo production company. Join us October 3rd and 4th for the Paulding Pro Rodeo, where you'll see bucking bulls, professional cowboys and cowgirls, as well as the world-famous rodeo clown Dusty Myers. Also, we are proud to be sanctioned through the PCA. This is also our first year for the Cow Kids Rodeo Fun Day. This is a separate event for kids with special needs and their families from the community. For more information, go to southernrodeocompany.com. We can't wait to see you there.
Friends, get your tickets now at rodeoticket.com. You definitely don't want to miss this. And remember, our town is your town at Our Town Monthly.
What is that sound?
It's our rejection detection system. It's showing that several men across Georgia are being denied intimacy by their partners due to ED.
How can this be?
Well, it's more common than you think. As men age, their bodies change. And unfortunately, once they get over 50, some things don't work like they used to.
So what do we do?
There's only one thing to do. We need to get them to Dr. Eric Deal at Total Body Therapy of Georgia. He can fix ED problems.
But how?
At Total Body Therapy of Georgia, they are experts in the P-shot, testosterone replacement, regenerative therapy, and Trimex to create an erection and more.
Hi, this is Dr. Eric Deal from Total Body Therapy of Georgia. Did you know that 50% of men over 50 struggle with some form of ED? Guys, it won't get better on its own. When it's not hard, it's really hard. But I can help you today. Call us at Total Body Therapy of Georgia at 404-777-1911 or learn more about us online at tbtofga.com.
The Dean's List with Janice Dean.
A restaurant owner in Minnesota who surprised one of his workers with a brand new bike makes today's Dean's List. The young man's only way of transportation to work was stolen, and he had no way to get home. But thanks to the folks at Townies where he works, they all knew exactly what to do. The owners and employees all teamed up and bought the man a brand new bike, surprising him with it outside the restaurant and getting his reaction on video. There were tears of joy from the recipient of the brand new bike, as well as all the folks that worked at Townies and many of their guests who handed the man some extra money to help him out. The video of the wonderful act of kindness was posted online with the caption that read, "Thank you all for helping turn a tough situation into something hopeful. It reminds us there are still good people out there." Amen. Janice Dean, Fox News.
Extra 1063 is live on your ride home with a Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder from 3 to 6 p.m.
Your FBI under Christopher Wray deliberately faked investigations on almost 100 Republicans and Republican organizations, which led Jack Smith to file federal charges against Donald Trump that led to the Mar-a-Lago raid. It all started with Christopher Wray.
The Kimmer Show on Extra 1063 FM and the Extra app.
Tug and Los until 10 on the Morning Xtra. If you missed story time, go back and listen to it on the Extra 1063 app. It is worth the time that you'll spend when all the craziness that's happening across the country that doesn't make sense. You're just trying to pull something and make heads or tails of it. And Los takes it, gives you the background, and makes it all make sense. Even down to, and this started in 1800 in Connecticut.
1800 in Connecticut.
And is still moving today.
You have people referencing a man born in 1800 Connecticut to this day as the reason why violence is justified against any and all of us who take part in voting against them or standing up against them.
John Brown Gun Club was passing out 6 days ago, passing out flyers in Utah that said, "Hey, fascist, catch," in a recruiting effort. They're still using the same, the remnants of the John Brown discussion that Los had to 6 days ago.
They're still using his name and asking, what are you wanting to do? What are you willing to do?
What are you willing to do? That's exactly right. It's insane. So if you missed any of it, go back and listen to it. It's worth your time. Go back on the app. Go back at extra1063.com. But
well, thank you. I'm glad you liked it. That was
excellent.
That was a lot of and there's so many things. There was so much meat on the bone.
Oh, I'm sure.
You left alone
that you had to leave out.
You just had to leave out some of the things he grew up around that really turned him into. I mean, he was as hardcore in this country against slavery in terms of violence. Like there were other people that were obviously equally as against. There were people that were ready to that joined his movement that were ready to fight. He just made it a point. He was like, this only happens through bloodshed.
We're going to butcher people.
And that is the push that you have that's going on today on the left, that in order to deal with these fascists, what all the stuff that they say, these people in ICE, I mean, remember, you didn't have an assassination attempt in this country for 40 years. You had 2 in 6 months. Like their response was, we got to kill Trump. Like there's only one answer. He has to die.
Tucker Carlson actually brought something up similar to that when he was talking on the Charlie Kirk Memorial. And he brought up, a dark lamp-lit room where he was speaking, and they were like, what are we going to do about this guy that keeps telling the truth? What do we got? We got to stop him. And he was like, I could picture it right now. Somebody was like, why don't we just kill him?
Why don't we just kill him? And he likened it to Jesus in that the response was, well, he just keeps talking to people.
Telling the truth.
He's telling them the truth. He's making them think about his movement. Let's kill him.
And so someone did. In both cases.
Yes.
In both cases, from Jesus all the way to Charlie Kirk.
The response to, you've told too much truth, you've opened up too many eyes, we have to kill you.
You can no longer breathe. You can no longer, you can't be a person on this earth anymore because you stand in the way of what we want to accomplish.
And so that is the inspiration that they have. This is not, I know that they want to push, these are discount or Discord chats, or this is all dark web. And yes, that is a factor.
Yeah, it certainly is.
But at some point, these people are catching this ideology, and it turns into the only thing they can do. Because I think people are compelled to want to do the right thing.
Sure.
I firmly believe that oftentimes things that we might see as evil, it's in the eye of the beholder. Do you think that John Brown butchering a family, because he left the women alone, he left the children alone, the men he thought that were responsible for that raid, they're the ones who got butchered.
Right.
Do you think he ever thought one thing about that and saying, like, I did the wrong thing there?
If he read his Bible, probably would. But it's the interpretation.
Righteous violence.
Yeah, it was the interpretation.
And so, as much as we want to tell ourselves, hey, these are all demons and this is what they're going to do. Yeah, no, that's a big part of it. I think anybody who shoots up a school or shoots up a community or blows himself up in the name of Allah, whatever it is, that's what I think. But there are those that pick up a weapon to go shoot at these people because they think to themselves, as sad as their life is, this is the most righteous thing I can do.
I would have to think that the shooter of Charlie Kirk would have fallen into that category.
And think that the guy that took shots over at ICE in Dallas before he offed himself
would have
probably thought he was doing the right thing.
And couldn't be further from the truth.
Couldn't be further from the truth. But that is how, and again, it's all on the background of slavery when it's John Brown. What's the background here? Well, an invented fascist?
Well,
an invented level of somehow losing freedoms?
But if you present it
enough times,
and you continue to say it over and over and over, what do they say? It only takes a little while for a lie to become truth. If you've heard it enough, you just accept that, that's what it is.
Well, and don't you think they want to be the next John Brown for this situation? This is why I always try to understand, why are you engraving things on your bullets? Why do you write these manifestos? Why do you do all this? They want to be remembered.
Sure they do.
Hundreds of years later.
That was the case with the shooter in Minnesota, the one that shot at the church and shot at the school. That was his entire point. Like, he had an entire manifesto where he talked about other shooters and what they did right and what they did wrong.
And the inspiration behind.
And yes, there's a whole lot of mental illness and madness that was involved there. But there was also this hatred, in his case, this hatred of Christianity.
And self-hatred, too.
Yes.
Which is a lethal combination, obviously. He hated the fact that he had transitioned. That's what he said.
And I guess that's the big difference to me, Tug. There's things you could do out of madness.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a one-time deal. There's things you could do out of religion, love, patriotism, and you would do that a multitude of times.
Mm-hmm.
That's the scary part, that's what they're trying to push. Not the one time you're crazy. They're trying to push an ideology that you won't stop after just one.
You got to go get the rest.
This is your job.
Yeah, you got to get the rest. You got to get them all.
This is a war.
Yes, that's right.
Because that's the way John Brown operated.
And that's the way you hear Democrat politicians. Some probably in ignorance. Some of them, however, know exactly what they're doing.
Kamala Harris said it, 2 days ago, 3 days ago? You got to fight fire with fire. What do you think that was? All of this stuff is underlying when they're referring to you as a Nazi, when they're referring to you as a fascist. It's all the dog whistle to those people. Hey,
2 days after Kamala said it, that's when the church was burned down.
Hey, when are you going to pick up a rifle and do something about this? And the fact that you have a group, just as you told, called John Brown Rifle Club.
Yeah, and they go to Cuba.
And yes, and they go train
as
with these other
revolutionaries.
groups.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think the plan is here?
Well, they tell you. They don't hide it.
They're not hiding it. They're not going to stand down.
They only scrubbed their social media talking and celebrating and sharing the video of being in Cuba and studying, I guess, training with these revolutionaries. It wasn't until Charlie Kirk was murdered in cold blood that they took all that down from their social media. It was all there for everybody to see.
And then you will find these gun clubs.
Oh, they're all over.
All over the place.
Yes, that's right.
And they're always the same thing in terms of it's far left ideology, anti-fascist, racist, capitalist, patriarchy, pro-worker, community defense, and guns. This is the state of Washington. This is Washington State. It's another group. When we talk about domestic terrorism, here's what these groups are, and they're all using John Brown as their inspiration.
And that's what Trump was talking about, the enemy within. That's exactly what he's talking about when he said that yesterday in front of all the generals gathered in Quantico, which we'll get to. And a fit fighting force begins at the top, and many at the top are not fit at all. But it all connects to this discussion we've just started and will continue next on Extra 106.3.
For the Bortz Report, exclusively on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Extra 106.3.
The left keeps whining, and oh, do they ever whine, about Donald Trump being an authoritarian. You want to see an authoritarian? Put me in charge for a week or two. Let me go out there and just make the laws I want to make and have them enforced. Yes, I have a list. It'll make Donald Trump look weak. Okay, Bort's Law. Here we go. If you run from the police in a car when you are finally stopped, the law will state that you must be pulled out of that car not by a policeman, but by a police canine. Give you something to think about while you're running. Shoplifters. If you are convicted of shoplifting, the punishment will be that your home will be opened to a group of really poor people who will be allowed to run into your home and take whatever they want without any compensation for you. Scammers. All attempts at scamming somebody out of their money, like these emails telling you that you have won a marvelous tool set from Home Depot, will be punished as if you had been successful. You won't be rewarded for failure. Capital punishment. If you're convicted of a capital crime and sentenced to death, All appeals must be carried out within 90 days and the execution set within 1 week of your final appeal. And you will die the same way your victim died. Idiots who block highways in protests. You will be allowed to proceed through the protesters at idle speed. Just take your foot off the brake and roll forward. Any faster than that, it leaves the authorities with the cleanup job. And that's just my first week. You haven't seen authoritarianism yet. I'll show you an authoritarian. Neil Bortz, Extra 106.3.
The Kimmer Show is only live on Extra 106.3 every weekday afternoon on your drive home.
If Kamala had won and she'd be another puppet being controlled from behind the scenes by the Jake Sullivans, the Valerie Jarretts, the Susan Rices, it would be just like Britain right now, where if you say something on social media that someone doesn't like, the police come and threaten to arrest you. That's how bad it would be right now with the DOJ and the FBI.
The Kimmer Show, every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m. on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app. WFOM and W292 EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station. The 9 a.m. hour is presented by Southern Exteriors. Quality and precision you can rely on.
This is a Fox News alert. A lot of the government is closed, and Republicans and Democrats blame each other.
The far left faction of Senate Democrats shut down the government because we wouldn't give them hundreds of billions of dollars for health care benefits for illegal aliens.
That's what Vice President Vance just told Fox after Democrats blocked a House-passed bill to extend government funding for 7 weeks.
Their bill, they call it clean. We call it totally partisan.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer insists provisions be added to keep health care costs from rising when Obamacare subsidies expire at the end of the year. Vance's response?
Of course, we all want to ensure that Americans have low-cost health care, so let's work together on that. You don't shut the government down. You don't take the government as a hostage because you want to engage in a negotiation about health care costs. Let's do that negotiation, but let's do it in the context of actually opening the government.
Hundreds of thousands of federal employees will be furloughed or even laid off. Some will keep working without paychecks, like law enforcement and those at airports.
Most of the workers at the FAA and the Transportation Security Administration are defined as essential, which requires them to stay on the job, even if the government closes and other federal workers are furloughed. That means more than 13,000 air traffic controllers would have to work without pay, and roughly 3,500 safety and operational support staff would be affected by furlough.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers. Social Security and Medicare payments will keep coming, and post offices will stay open, so you'll still get mail. Less than 3 weeks after Charlie Kirk was assassinated at an event at Utah Valley University, the Turning Point USA organization he founded, that his widow Erica now runs, returned to Utah last night.
More than 6,500 people packed the arena at Utah State University. Alex Clark, a TPUSA host, said she was not there to eulogize her friend, but to pass the baton on to supporters, and that Kirk was building something that would outlast him.
That's Fox's Alicia Acuna. America's listening to Fox News.
It's Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and LifeLock is here with tips to help protect your identity. Use strong passwords, set up multi-factor authentication on your accounts, report phishing, and update your software on all your devices. And for comprehensive identity protection, LifeLock is your best choice. LifeLock not only alerts you to suspicious uses of your personal information, but also fixes identity theft, guaranteed, or your money back. So stay smart, stay safe, and stay protected with a 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use the promo code BECK. Terms do apply.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term.
What do you say to anyone who still doesn't understand America First? Tell the left now at 404-741-1230 on the Morning Extra.
Tug and Los until 10 on the Morning Extra. Thank you for being here. 404-741-1230. Can't believe we're already 9 o'clock. This day has flown by.
Good, because I got stuff I need to do. I got to get dog food. I got to get some insulation. I got a busy day today.
What a stretch of things, man.
I know. Dog food and insulation. I got to go by Home Depot and Petco.
It's not. It's not often that that those two things are bought together.
Never.
On the same day.
Just got some stuff to do, man. I gotta tack up some insulation.
Got to get the dog fed.
Got to get the dog fed.
I mean, it's pretty simple. It's pretty easy to
We
understand.
got a pretty easy day outside of that.
That's right.
Got one practice. Got a match tomorrow. Then we finish up at least our tourney schedule for high school volleyball on Saturday. So then get a little bit of freedom.
Yeah.
We start club like a few weeks later.
I know, man. And then that's when you really start running.
Yeah. Actually, my wife and I are planning on doing the podcast. I think we're going to record today.
Okay, for the first one. So for
one.
anybody that doesn't know, Los and his wife are going to do a volleyball-centered podcast.
We're calling it Volleyballed.
Are you serious? That's funny.
As in, like, this happened to you.
Yeah.
And it's mostly a parent podcast. Because a lot of times in the forums that we like to partake in, and there's thousands of people in them, so it's like, there's an audience there. But they will ask questions where, because we're now going into like year 8 of this stuff, when a parent says, well, should I book a hotel? Like, book a hotel now.
Yeah, do it.
There's a lot of little stuff like that we've kind of learned, and we just thought it might be kind of fun. There's been a couple of them out there that we've listened to, and I will just tell you this, and this is me being a little bit snooty, because like Tug made me buy a Sonos speaker. He suggested it. I listened to it. I was like, there was no better speaker on the market.
Dude, it sounds unbelievable.
It's incredible. I finally actually started playing music on it the other day, which sounds incredible.
Dude.
So you're right.
The rich bass,
yes.
And it's not overpowering. It's the perfect amount. It's
a great product.
Yeah,
you are 100% right.
But it's a little costly.
Yes. You have to spend a little bit more, but it was worth it. Tug was 100% right. And the reason why I respect Tug is because the amount of work he's done in this industry, he too wants things to sound a certain way.
It's important to, and my wife and son don't pay attention to it at all. It could be a speaker the size of my cell phone or some gigantic thing, and they're like, it all sounds the same. And I'm like, no,
it doesn't.
No,
somebody says, listen to this great song, and they start playing it from their phone. I'm like,
it's hard to experience.
But I can also, when I listen to a podcast and I go, they're all just using a regular mic, and it's a Zoom call. It's
a Zoom call, and it's a USB mic that they bought for $12 on Amazon.
And it sounds like the do. So I made sure not to do that.
Well, yeah.
So we'll see how things sound.
But you're a pro. That's what you do for a living.
I want to make it sound the way it's supposed to sound. And the ones of the past have not. And so, we do have
I'm eager.
We have a theme song.
Which Los also created.
Very excited.
Dre, do you have it?
Oh, I haven't sent it to Dre.
Okay,
I can always send it to maybe we play it in the final segment.
Yeah, there
for
we go.
Fun. But I shared it with a couple parents, and they both said the same thing. It's so funny because any parents that take part, grandparents or parents, you take part in any sort of travel sports or any kind of club sports, we all have the same scenario. We are like burning through money.
Yeah, burning through money and your vacation. Every vacation goes.
Your life is all about what city, what state are we in, what are we doing?
And then there's the people that don't do it. That maybe their kids don't participate in sports at all, or whatever. And you're explaining to them, and they look at you like you got 4 heads.
They think you're nuts.
They think you're absolutely crazy.
And they're 100% right.
Yeah,
and so
right.
That's why we're doing this podcast, a parent podcast. I got a really funny message from our friend Stephanie.
Yes.
And it was a picture of a guy holding up a sign on the side of the road, like cardboard sign.
Yeah.
And it says, "Not homeless, daughter plays on a travel volleyball team." Just wanted to let you know I'm panhandling.
Can you donate, please?
Got a house. Need some more money for the volleyball team.
Exactly right, dude. It's so relatable for so many people.
So I hope we do it right.
And that's the thing. Even people that don't participate in volleyball necessarily will benefit from it too because of so many of the things overlap.
I think our first topic, and your son knows this as well as anybody, you got to find as they get older, especially as they get to 14, 15, 16, every year it's right place, right time, right situation, right staff.
Yep.
And that might mean that you have to go from one university to another or one club to another. Right place, right time, right staff. And if you don't like it, make the situation better. Move to somewhere else.
Go. And don't waste time doing it. Once you realize it, once you figure it out, make the move. Because if you don't, you're still sitting there 6 weeks later spinning your wheels going, we should have.
And that's, I think, is going to be our very first thing I want to get my wife into. Because, again, we also moved high schools.
Well, I was going to say, and y'all have done. You've lived this discussion.
We have done this. Now, Is it all gravy at this point? No. But at the same time, had we been at our previous, it would have been very difficult considering what has gone on with that program. It's nice kids, nice team, nice coaches. It's been such a struggle for them this year. And I think it would have made my daughter and my wife crazy.
Just miserable. Get in the right situation. And look, as bad as some people talk about the transfer portal and all the things that are happening in college sports, I tell you, it was cool to see. Let's see, there was a quarterback that had been at an FCS school that had won a national championship. Was it Auburn's quarterback?
Well, you have Ole Miss's quarterback.
It's Ole Miss's quarterback. That's exactly who it is.
Ole Miss's quarterback is a guy from a lower level division. When you watched last Friday, when Virginia beat Florida State, one of the running backs that was chewing up Florida State, same scenario. He'd played at a smaller division school, transferred to Virginia, and they're looking around going, wait a minute, this guy's might be one of the best running backs in the ACC.
That's right.
It's like, this guy's really good.
And I think that is so eye-opening for people to realize just because a kid plays D2, D3, FCS, whatever it is, that does not mean they can't compete at the highest level. They just weren't at the right place at the right time and the right opportunity come across.
Think about Josh Allen before he got over to Wyoming. I mean, he was not looked at by anybody.
There was another guy.
Dude, Lad McConkey.
Oh, well, but here's the one I go to. This is my trump card for everybody.
Okay.
There was a guy that played at Incarnate Word University. And you're like, where's Incarnate Word University? It's in the football hotbed of Broadway Street in San Antonio, Texas.
Right.
It's like if you found it, you'd be like, "Oh my God! Like, what is this?"
Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen high schools.
It's like this is kind of silly. It's a little private Catholic school.
Yeah.
He then went to another university after having a pretty good year, and that kind of worked out a little bit. Then transferred again, had another pretty good year, and he was the number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft. It's Cam Ward.
Yeah.
Who started at Little Incarnate Word University before going to what was it? He went to Washington State and then headed over to Miami.
Yeah. That's the thing I believe that it's been the most eye-opening. And I've always thought it. It's just, you're just not in the right place at the right time, which is so valuable and important. Timing is everything. But it shows you how many of these kids are exceptional and given the opportunity will be exceptional on the biggest of stages. It didn't matter. It doesn't matter where you start. It's where you end up.
So that's going to be, I think, the first discussion.
That's going to be a good one.
My wife said that she needed to have like a beer before we do this because she's got to relax. We take this for granted. Like, you know that, right?
Oh, well, no, my wife...
Jerry doesn't need a beer before we start the show. But if you did a show with somebody else, they would probably be like, Jerry, I'm freaking out, man. I'm freaking out.
Oh, I've seen it a million times.
Might not hurt. Might have to get an Irish coffee going sometimes.
Yeah.
We'll see.
My wife wouldn't say a word. Won't say it. She locks down. Can't speak. Cat got your tongue kind of thing. So at least... Your sweet wife, she just needs a beer and she'll be good.
She's used to public speaking.
Yeah.
But this is,
my wife is not.
This is different. Public speaking, that makes me, again, the microphone doesn't freak me out. Public speaking, not exactly a freak out, but I tend to want to have like more notes and things in mind.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. You want to be prepared.
Right. Whereas here, I can just look deep into Tug's eyes and be like, now I know what I want to talk about next.
See, and I'll tilt my head sideways.
And then he does the glamour shot, look at me.
That's right. Exactly.
The only thing that messes me up is when Jerry shaves.
Yeah, that throws
Jerry shaves.
Off.
I'm like, what are we doing here?
This is
something messed up with the show.
Something is off in the universe.
It's like this is my comfort zone.
That's right.
Don't have to worry about that anytime soon.
Good. Don't violate my comfort zone.
Yeah, dude, you can't do that.
Your facial hair is about me.
That's right. I need to be able to look and be comfortable where I am. Can't wait to hear it, and we'll give details in case you'd like to hear it too. In case you'd like to listen to Los and his wife, their new volleyball podcast.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I have a feeling it's going to go really, really well. Something just tells me. Unlike what's been going on in our United States military, not been going all that well. You saw the evacuation from Afghanistan, the disaster. It's such an embarrassment, an absolute embarrassment, a black eye for the men and women of our military. And it was because the people at the top had no idea what they're doing. They outright admitted that they had no plan. There was zero plan, none, when they left. So That's why we're in the shape we're in. That and donuts. Because some of those cats in the military love to eat donuts. Goodness gracious. And you can see, maybe you saw some of them sitting in the audience as Pete Hegseth gave the address, if you will, there at Quantico.
It's funny you should bring that up.
What is that, Private Pile?
Sir, jelly donuts, sir.
A jelly donut?
Sir, yes, sir.
Are you allowed to eat jelly donuts, Private Pile?
Sir, no, sir.
And why not, Private Pile?
Sir, because I'm too heavy, sir.
Because you are a disgusting fat body, Private Pile.
Sir, yes, sir.
They don't allow that at boot camp anymore. But that's about to get changed.
I still love that entire scene. And as far as I'm concerned, ladies, you owe me for one jelly donut.
That's right, dude.
Punishes everybody else while they make Private Pile eat it.
That's right. And do you know that's the way boot camp used to be? Mm-hmm. And for the last 10, maybe 15 years, it has not. That kind of discipline, that kind of interaction is returning, according to Pete Hegseth, and not a moment too soon.
I don't want to be a hypocrite about this, so I'll explain why this is important to me in a moment. But I want to play this from Pete Hegseth. This is where he talked about fat commanders, and here's why I think it matters.
If the Secretary of War can do regular, hard PT, so can every member of our joint force. Frankly, it's tiring to look out at combat formations, or really any formation, and see fat troops. Likewise, it's completely unacceptable to see fat generals and admirals in the halls of the Pentagon and leading commands around the country and the world. It's a bad look. It is bad, and it's not who we are. So whether you're an airborne ranger or a chairborne ranger, a brand new private or a 4-star general, you need to meet the height and weight standards and pass your PT test. And as the chairman said, yes, there is no PT test. But today, at my direction, every member of the Joint Force at every rank is required to take a PT test twice a year, as well as meet height and weight requirements twice a year, every year of service. Also today, at my direction, every warrior across our Joint Force is required to do PT every duty day. Should be common sense. I mean, most units do that already.
Now, here's why that's important to me. Outside of Andy Reid, all right, champion coach, by the way, during the 90s, Andy Reid wasn't fat. It's very hard to demand respect and, more importantly, discipline when you don't have it yourself. I think that when you have somebody who is 250 bills and they're 5'10", and they're telling you all about your discipline and your work ethic and what you need to do in this military, I think that screams it's not going to work as far as a leadership perspective.
You bring up Andy Reid, I'll bring up Bill Belichick at North Carolina. He's got his little girlfriend on the sidelines. That's embarrassing.
Yeah, but that's not him being 300 pounds.
No, it's not, but it shows no discipline.
But he's talking about people's weight.
I know that. But I'm talking about the discipline part of it. Nobody can take you serious as a head coach when your girlfriend's asking you for money for the concession stand.
That I completely agree with.
That's what I mean. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Because discipline is in so many. Discipline's in your body, your health, the way you eat, way you work out. He used the word warrior. You can't be a warrior if you can't carry yourself up a hill.
No.
That's not a warrior.
And this is why I say I make it a point. I don't want to be hypocritical about this. The reason why, and I always try and do this when my daughters are getting home. I ask them on a regular basis that, hey, you've got all your practices. It's multitudes times a week. Plus, they normally train once, maybe twice a week with a trainer. Like, that's part of what they do. And they then do the extra workouts that the club has available to them. I always make it a point to come upstairs with my headband, drenched in sweat, looking awful, like I'm on the cusp of dying.
That's right.
With the heart rate monitor still attached and it going crazy on my phone.
Setting the example.
Because if I'm asking you to do it, then I need to show that I'm going to push myself as well. Even as a 40-year-old man, here's how I'm trying to push myself and what I believe that does for you. And so I like that Pete Hegseth is upsetting these groups of people. You do have a sliding scale when it comes to age in terms of PT and some of the goals you have to hit.
Sure.
And he's right. There are some of them in there that there's no chance they'd ever hit it.
Ever. and they need to take a step back and come to the end of their career. Thank you for your service. We're headed in a different direction, and you don't meet the standard. You don't get to participate anymore. And is it going to be difficult? Is it going to hurt feelings? Absolutely, yes, it will. Will people be so pissed off? Yes, they will. Or they'll match the standard that's set in front of them. It can be either one.
And to this day, when my father-in-law, who was a civilian who had a rank, worked 35 years with the U.S. Army, he did the PT work. He would go out with the guys to do the work that they needed to do. Even as a guy who was in his 50s, he's like, here's what it now is. He's still running the base. Like, that was part of just, here's this lifestyle, and here's what you have to do. And as somebody who had a place in the command chain, he had to basically still show a level of discipline. You were never going to find that guy, like, fat and out of shape anywhere.
Pete Hegseth is doing the exact same thing. And he even said it. As the Secretary of War, I do it. If I can do it, you can do it. If I am the number one,
I will lead by example for all of you.
Exactly right, dude.
Love it.
And the fact that there's some people speaking anonymously to Politico saying how this could have been done in an email, I beg to differ. An email wouldn't even been read, much less taken serious. Dude, when you take the time to pull every commander from every end of the earth and sit them down and say, here's what we're doing, now you got their attention. An email would not have done it. Politico wants you to believe that. You do not believe it because you know better. Think about how many emails you get a day. You're not taking that serious in email form. Morning Extra and Extra 106.3 when we come back. Yes, Joy, this is what we voted for. And we're going to throw in a piece of a liberal that used to be well respected, that all of a sudden sounds very conservative in his critique of the Democrat Party. Next on Extra.
A jelly donut?
Listen to the Morning Extra, The Kimmer Show, Neil Bortz, and all your favorite Extra 106.3 personalities whenever you want with the all-new Extra app. It's anytime show replays, all your favorite podcasts, and the latest political news from across Georgia. Download the Extra 106.3 app now for Apple or Android.
Hey, Atlanta, it's Los. Let's talk about True Prep. Now, I have a good friend of mine who works down the hall, and there was something he told me 15, 20 years ago that still stuck with me. It's like, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Well, that's the cool part about True Prep. True Prep helps you stay ready for whatever could possibly occur. We've talked about how when it comes to your home defense, you want to be ready if something crazy pops off. If you're out and about in the streets, you want to be ready if something crazy happens. At the same time, though, you want to be ready if you're outdoor enthusiast and you happen to run into, let's say, an issue with your water. Hey, have some equipment on hand. When I went to True Prep over the weekend, one of the things I bought, because I've recently been dealing with snakes, I bought a kit in order to get the poison out. I was able to get that at True Prep. You are able to do whatever you need to when it comes over to True Prep. And by the way, you can always check out their used guns and gear and their sales and clearance items. They update that every single day. You also have classes available as well, so that no matter what, hey, you're ready. You don't have to worry about getting ready when you stay ready. That is the great part about True Prep. 1000 Cobb Parkway in Marietta, or go online, trueprep.com. That's TRUprep.com. Prepare today for a worry-free tomorrow with True Prep.
Backyard, ballpark, or campsite, if there's fire, you can grill. At Southern Thunder Barbecue School, our Grill with the Pros class puts you in the action. In just 4 hours, you'll master steakhouse quality steaks, thick-cut pork chops, chicken quarters, veggie kebabs, and wings. It's a hands-on training under the tutelage of barbecue grand champions. When the cooking is complete, you'll feast. Don't just grill like a pro. Register now at southernthunderbarbecue.com. That's southernthunderbbq.com.
While fall temperatures are cooling down, the action in the stadium and on the field is really heating up. If you find yourself in hot water from too much celebrating during the game, it's important to know who to call. Call A Second Chance Bail Bonds. We handle bonds for those at the bends to those who celebrate action between the hedges. At A Second Chance, we can have you or your loved one out of jail in a matter of hours. Call A Second Chance 24/7 at 404-BAIL-OUT. That's 404-BAIL-OUT. Or online at atlbail.com.
Senior Manager, Global Services, change lead positions offered by the North Highland Company in Atlanta, Georgia. Act as an advisor to the C-suite on organizational change, strategy, and communication. Position reports to Atlanta, Georgia office. Telecommuting permitted in accordance with company policy, but must live within commuting distance of stated office. Must be willing to travel domestically 35% and internationally 5%. Please apply online at https://careers.northhighland.com.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term.
This is Fox on Justice. The jury found would-be Trump assassin Ryan Ruth guilty on all 5 charges. And then there was chaos in the courtroom moments after the verdict was announced, when Ruth tried to stab himself in the neck with a pen. U.S. Marshals immediately restrained Ruth and took him out of the courtroom. Ruth's daughter, Sarah, stood up and screamed, quote, "Don't do anything. I will get you out. This is all rigged," and stormed out of the courtroom crying alongside her brother, visibly angry at the media.
We can all go to hell. Lies! Spreading lies about my father.
Legal analysts say Ruth's defense was weak. He tried to suggest that he was merely staging a peaceful protest and not an assassination attempt because the rifle never fired. In his closing argument, he told the jury, quote, "This case answers itself. There was never any intent. The proof is obvious." The jury deliberated for just over 2 hours before handing down that guilty verdict. His sentencing won't take place until December 18th. He faces life in prison. I'm Dana Marie McNichol, Fox News.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
Here are your Georgia headlines for Wednesday, October 1st. Cobb County law enforcement participated in a statewide operation called Watchful Eye, targeting registered sex offenders who violated the terms of their release. Officials say the operation led to multiple arrests after stricter monitoring and coordinated checks across Georgia. The sheriff's office stressed that these efforts are part of ongoing work to ensure community safety. State investigators are working to determine what sparked a fire at a Cobb County church Monday night. The fire happened at Prayer City Eagles Chapel in Austell. Multiple fire departments responded and battled the flames for hours. No injuries were reported, but church leaders say they received threats days before the fire, including messages promising damage and violence. And Georgia voters have until October 6th to register or update their registration ahead of the November Public Service Commission and municipal elections. The November 4th ballot will include 2 statewide Public Service Commission seats and local races for mayor, city council, and school boards. Today's weather partly cloudy with a high of 80 degrees. With your headlines, I'm Jerry Payne for Extra 106.3.
9 o'clock hour brought to you by Southern Exteriors, your home exterior solution since 1999. Based in Jackson, Georgia, serving Metro Atlanta and all the Southeast. 8779 Southern, southernexteriors.co. CO! We often get asked, is this what you voted for? And I see it on social media, and occasionally I've been asked, by a person when you're having a conversation, and the answer is always the same. Yes.
Here, will you do it to me?
Hey, Los, everything's going on, shut down the government, and going after people and ICE and deported. Is this what you voted for? We didn't let me get the question. Okay.
100%.
Yes, 100%. Yes.
100% yes.
That's right. And I'll say it with a smile.
Because I know what I voted against.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And
those are 2 different things.
They are. You're exactly right. But it's funny how they go really well together in this, because we voted against the craziness that was going on, and then we voted for Donald Trump to do exactly the opposite of what they were doing.
I have to wonder where this mentality comes from. Because even when leftists will speak of things that tend to be popular, they have now tried to turn it into somehow something evil and hateful. Like, for instance, we brought up when you had the big, beautiful bill and the change in the tax code, and suddenly no tax on tips. up to whatever, 100 and 100 something, whatever thousand.
You're right.
Somehow that turned into, well, I can't believe the Republicans did that to you all. Like, hold on a second. You should have voted for it and then taken advantage of it. Let's turn this into a good thing here. So I want to play for you Joy Reid. So the readout hadn't been on air for 6 months, 7 months. Like, Trump came in and it was clear there's a reason why you have less than 100,000 viewers. This is not working any longer. You also are hardcore into identity politics and everything's racism, and that's just not, it's not resonating anymore. It's just not. Call it fallout from having Donald Trump or Black President Barack Obama. For some reason, this is not resonating at all.
I just think it goes back to if you say it over and over and over again and you use race as every catch-all.
Yes, the conduit by which you make an argument.
People just stop listening.
Because I mean, I guess I'm supposed to be offended when somebody shows up in a sombrero. Truth be told, I went on Amazon looking for a sombrero to see how fast I could get a sombrero here.
Did you wear one this morning?
Yes. Like, I was going to do a show in a sombrero and a fake mustache.
That's so great.
And it was going to be my Hakeem Jeffries look. Now, I'm not saying I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that it was going to take a little bit longer than I thought to get a sombrero. And storage, man. Like, you can't just keep that in your closet.
Yeah. Because
sombrero takes up some space.
Right. And then if something crushes, I mean, it obviously would ruin it.
And you have a dumb-looking sombrero.
Yeah, right.
And by the way, where else are you going to wear a sombrero outside of going to, like, a Mexican food restaurant on Friday? And at that point, are you kind of mocking? Does it feel kind of weird?
Well, it depends on if they put it on your head to sing happy birthday to you.
Okay, well, that's different. What if I brought my own?
Yeah, maybe.
Right?
I feel like that'd be a good look for a volleyball tournament.
To have now, that's the other issue.
Did you see that dad over there? He's wearing a sombrero.
Who are we playing? Because if we play one of the Puerto Rican teams, somebody's going to get upset. They'll be like, "What are you trying to say?"
Well, but dude, you check the box.
I know. I'm supposed to have the deflector shield here. It's supposed to be fine for me. Look, I am one of you. You're like, hey,
really.
I'm supposed to get away with this, right? So, with all that being said,
that's one of the greatest lines of all time. I am one of you.
I am one of you. Joy Reid, she starts to explain, this is what Donald Trump wants to do. This is what the Republicans intend to do. This is like 20 seconds where this is catnip to me. If this was all accomplished, I'd be rubbing myself in this. Take a listen.
Is that if you go back before the 20th century, there were no income taxes, there were no regulations on business. You could earn as much money as you want, leave 100% of it to your children with no taxes. Right. That's the world they want back. And to get it back, they need society to change. They need people to be less modern. They need people to want fewer things.
So where was it wrong? Like what?
That's the society they want back. Hell yeah!
What did she say that made you go, no, I don't want any part of that?
It's like people that tell me about, Kamala Harris should be in the Oval Office. I always say the same thing back. Well, don't lose 7 swing states.
That helps.
That would probably help. I'm just suggesting that maybe losing the popular vote for the first time in 20 years might be problematic to your goal. What I will say is that Joy Reid is actually describing an America that would excite any one of us. Like, one of the greatest Americans ever is George Steinbrenner. You know why? Because the former New York Yankees owner died the year that there was a moratorium on the death tax.
Yeah.
The man actually got to hand over everything to his kids, and they're like, wow, good job, Dad.
Yeah, way to time it.
You actually have scenarios where people have to sell the family farm, because they have to pay the taxes on everything coming their way.
Yeah.
So she's talking about they can leave 100% and there's no income tax. And everything she described sounds awesome.
Let's go back through each one of them. No income tax. Yes.
Yes, awesome.
No regulations. Yes.
Good.
Awesome.
Now, I will just point this out. If you want to tell me I get clean air and water and my house won't fall down because we've got some regulations, okay. But outside of that, when she's talking about regulations on business.
Oh, yeah, on business. Yeah, for sure. Earn as much as you want.
Sounds good.
Where's the drawback?
How else am I getting the Bortz bus?
And then, who else would you want to leave your money to than your children?
You can leave all of it, and that's the world they want back. Yeah, Joy. What part of this sounds like a bad idea?
Who is she preaching to? Who's listening to her going, yeah, she's right?
That's how you end up. That's how you end up, Tug, with less than 100,000 viewers on a network that is as big as MSNBC.
Who's the 100,000 that are so foolish that they would listen to that and go, "Yeah, that's what I want"?
I think she was at one point like 70,000, which is impossible given the time slot and the distribution.
There's just so many people there. I just can't imagine anybody that hears her say that and goes, "Yeah, that's right. That's dangerous. That's the dangerous MAGA plan to go back to making as much as you want and being able to leave it to your children tax-free." Whoever says this is not a good idea is insane. You're as crazy as she is.
You want to know when Megyn Kelly dropped the elbow?
When's that?
So this was back, we talked about it, how it's been like 6 or 7 months since Joy Reid had the readout and it was canceled.
Yeah.
Megyn Kelly back in February, she said that Joy was officially fired over the weekend because she's a racist, horrible news anchor with no ratings, and that's really been the truth for a long time.
That's it. That's exactly right. She couldn't have summarized it any better. That summary was much better than Joy's because Joy's summary was dumb.
I'm sorry, I was wrong. I said that she had 100,000. I was like, no, I think it got down to 72,000. The last rating she had was 59,000 people in the key demo.
59,000?
Which is impossible.
Yeah, it's
59,000 people on a national television show in the key demo. And it's not small. It's 25 to 54. You've got like a 30-year window. How many people can you get? And it was 59,000?
You could put a bulldog riding a skateboard on MSNBC at that time and get that many people.
I could play chimpanzee riding on a Segway.
Yeah, or that. Either one.
And like probably do at least 30,000 people hearing that song over and over again.
And over again.
He's got a helmet on. He's got overalls.
It's so good. It's so good. Chimpanzee on a Segway is fantastic. But if that don't make you smile, I don't know what will.
I mean, it does crack me up with the whole la, 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 la. I'm like, okay, sweet.
Can we go back? I want to, something that we didn't get to earlier, but it stood out to me, and it's James Carville.
Yeah.
The
Raging Cajun.
Raging Cajun. I have a lot of respect for James Carville. I don't agree with him most often, but I have a lot of respect for him. And I want you to hear him and what he said. He's had it with these progressives like Joy Reid and progressive campaigns specifically. In this cut, he's talking about the decision not to go on Joe Rogan for Kamala Harris. We're going to play it, and then I want you to look past some of the things he said, but listen to how he delivers it. Listen to this.
The vice president was thinking about going on Joe Rogan's show, and a lot of the younger progressive staffers pitched a hissy fit. Supposedly the campaign said that that wasn't the term de facto, but they did. When you put a campaign together and you hire young people to do work, let me tell you exactly what you tell these people, what I would tell them. Not only am I not interested in your opinion, I'm not even going to call you by your name. You're 23 years old. I don't really give a what you think. And let me tell you another huge error is when people said campaigns need to reflect progressive values. No, they don't. No, they don't. Campaigns are authoritarian by their nature. And if I were running a 2028 campaign and I had some little snot-nosed 23-year-old saying, I'm going to resign if you don't do this, not only would I fire that on the spot, I would find out who hired them and fire that person on the spot. I'm really not interested in your uninformed, stupid opinion as to whether you go on Joe Rogan or not.
Okay.
Where to begin?
Dude, there's so much there. He sounded a lot like Pete Hegseth running the military to me. Dude, he sounded like, we are going to do it the right way. We're going to have standards. We will tell you this is the way we're going to get the job done.
He is still angry, and he should be. He joined the campaign in the summer as, you know, again, the guy won a campaign before. All right? If you had him and David Axelrod, you at least have two people that have run winning campaigns. Now, has the era changed? Yes.
Of course.
But the fundamentals have not.
And that's what he's pointing out.
He pointed out, and this was done off the report. This was the discussion that had happened. that he showed up at the campaign and he questioned, why is everything so feminine and so gay? It's like, you have a problem with men. What are you doing here? And they made him, they were like, if he wants to be part of it, he had to apologize.
Mm-hmm. I know.
It's like, James Carville didn't have to apologize. He's telling you what your problem is.
That's exactly right. And they will push him further out of the party for doing exactly that. But when he said, when that person comes to me, I will fire them. When they make these stupid recommendations, I'm going to fire them. And then I'm going to fire the person that hired them. Dude, that is a military style way of thinking about it. He's no different. He's being a dude for the first time in I don't know how long.
And let's talk about the instincts. So a young man like Barron Trump was the impetus for Donald Trump he needs to go on Vaughn's show. He needs to go on Rogan's show. He needs to do as many of these podcasts as possible. By the way, when he got into his family's drug use on Theo Vaughn, if that didn't kind of soften up some of the image, I'm like, and again, Theo Vaughn is not supposed to be like a big serious show, and you're like, this is a serious moment. I can't believe he got this out of him.
And Theo being an addict himself.
Yes, and now they're having a discussion about what your brother went through and what I've been through, and that's the reason why Trump doesn't drink and he doesn't use. So, like I said, there was a value there. To have Kamala Harris's staff not be able to recognize that speaking to the area where you have the biggest discrepancy, young men, and knowing that a podcast like Joe Rogan reaches hundreds of thousands, if not millions of them. And again, across the political spectrum, I know women that listen to Joe Rogan every single week. But if you know you have a problem with men, why would you not consider doing that show?
Because she couldn't.
Because she couldn't. The format was going to be the problem.
That was good. That's why.
3 hours. Here's the discussion.
There's not a chance she was going to make it through that.
Joe Rogan.
And not sound like an idiot.
Well, Joe Rogan has talked about it in the past. It got to the point where they talked about doing 40 minutes. And even then, it was still going to be problematic because of the discussion. And he says, like, I just wanted to talk to her. Have a conversation.
And I believe that fully.
Yeah, I agree with him. I mean, he did... What was it? It was pretty lengthy with J.D. Vance and with Donald Trump.
It was like 3 hours each.
Yeah. It's like they were willing to talk. They're willing to just sit here and let's just talk.
That's right. But that's the difference. Joe Biden couldn't do anything like that. Kamala Harris didn't have the ability to do anything like that. So whomever's decision it was to keep her off Joe Rogan, you can blame that on her losing the election if you'd like. And James Carville is kind of doing that. James is not. The one thing that James is not taking into consideration is they were trying to protect her from herself.
The more she talked, for everyone who wanted to say, well, she only got like 120 days. Yeah, because 150 would have been worse.
It would have. You're exactly right.
Like she lost 7 swing states in 120 days. It would have been worse had she done 150.
The numbers would have been so off the chart.
Do you remember, like early on, they were producing AI photos that made it look like there were more people?
Yes. Yes,
like
they had
to fake it.
They had to fake it. And she wasn't going to be able to fake it for 3 hours or even 40 minutes. Unreal. I love James Carville's fire, though. I don't agree with him on much, but that fire is what the Democrats actually need, and that's what they'll continue to push away. That's what they'll continue to extinguish, which is good for us, fine. They're just pointing it out. That's what they need. The climate hoax falls on deaf ears in Gen Z. Next, as we wrap the Morning Extra on Extra 106.3.
The latest sports news, powered by 680 The Fan, and driven to extra listeners by RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs, Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Wednesday, October 1st. The Major League Baseball playoffs are underway and continue today. The wild card round continues. The Tigers lead the Guardians 1-0 as Game 2 will start from Cleveland at 1 p.m. this afternoon. As for the Chicago Cubs, they look for a 2-game series lead over the San Diego Padres. That game will begin at 3 p.m. As for the evening action, the New York Yankees, they're at home looking to avoid going down 2-0 to the Boston Red Sox. First pitch there is set for 6 p.m. Then later this evening, after an offensive explosion by the LA Dodgers in Game 1, they look to get a 2-game series lead over the Cincinnati Reds. That game will start at 9 p.m. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
Southern Exteriors has been around since 1999, based in Jackson, Georgia. They have been servicing the metro Atlanta area for a really, really long time. Did you know the average exterior remodeling company lasts just 4 years? So what, 99, 2000, 1, 2? So if they would have been average, which they're not, obviously, had they been average, they'd have been gone by, 02? So that means if you see things that are happening that need to be done at your home, you get it done with that company, that average company. 4 years later, you see cracks in the siding or leaks in your roof, you're out of luck. That company doesn't even exist anymore. Who are you going to go to? Who are you going to get that service from? Who are you going to get that repair from, that taken care of from? At Southern Exteriors, they've been serving Atlanta homeowners for 26 years. That means they warranty everything they do. Offer comes with real peace of mind that they'll still be around to honor it. And if a problem comes up in year 1 or year 21, you'll know exactly where to go. You'll be able to find them. You don't have to worry about them disappearing. You don't have to worry about them being average. Call them today at 877-9-SOUTHERN, 877-9-SOUTHERN. Trusted exterior remodeler that's here today, here tomorrow. SouthernExteriors.co. It's SouthernExteriors.co.
The right partner makes all the difference. For more than 185 years, we've forged personal relationships with our customers and communities, funding economic development and rallying around the causes that are important to our neighbors. With the technology, products, and expertise you'd expect from a big bank and the local decision-making and commitment to community from your neighborhood bank, United Bank Shares is your trusted financial partner for life. Learn more at bankwithunited.com. United Bank Shares, member FDIC.
Hey, this is John Flading. I'm the president and owner of ATL Turf Co. We have become a highly sought-after turf installation company in the Atlanta and North Georgia luxury residential market. Big reason for that is our installers are ATL Turf Co. employees. We do not outsource labor. They are trained to be experts in the turf installation process, drainage, grading. Just go to atlturfco.com to schedule an appointment.
Fox on Tech.
Washington may now be ready for self-driving cars. Amazon-owned autonomous taxi company Zoox is expanding to the East Coast and is picking the nation's capital to next deploy test fleets. The company has already been testing their driverless cars in places like San Francisco. Zoox test cars are SUVs outfitted with their autonomous tech and still make use of human safety drivers. Their actual vehicles, however, are not like anything you've likely seen before, resembling more of a street car with no driver tools and an open seating cab with personal comfort settings. Zoox is already fully operating in Las Vegas. Rides are hailed via the Zoox app. Testing in D.C. gives Zoox the chance to try their tech in a city with a particular style and pattern of roadways, along with functioning in mid-Atlantic weather, which, especially in winter, could bring challenges such as ice and snow. With Fox on Tech, I'm Eben Brown, Fox News.
This is House Call for Health. A major new global study reveals cardiac events don't strike without warning. It finds people who suffered a heart attack, stroke, or heart failure had at least one major heart risk factor years beforehand. Researchers analyzing the health records of more than 9 million people for a decade. They found more than 99% of patients had one or more risk factors, like high blood pressure and cholesterol, as well as blood sugar levels and tobacco use. The study also notes more than 93% of patients had two or more risk factors. That study was led by Northwestern Medicine and Yonsei University in South Korea. The author, Northwestern University cardiology professor Dr. Philip Greenland, says the goal now is to work harder on finding ways to control these modifiable risk factors rather than to get off track in pursuing other factors that are not easily treatable and not causal. The findings appear in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology. For more health news, go to foxnewshealth.com. House Call for Health, I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
From the latest breaking news to the conservative voices you know and trust, your best new follow on social media is Extra 1063. We're at XTRA 1063 on Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Threads, and LinkedIn, and pretty much any social media you scroll through every day. And we drop exclusive giveaways, new daily content, and the latest breaking news from Georgia and across this great nation. Interact with your favorite Extra personalities. Get the latest on our live events and so much more. Follow at Extra 1063 across all your social media and keep up with Atlanta's only conservative voice.
Tug and Los until 10 on the Morning Extra on Extra 1063. Download the app so you can listen live and on demand and enjoy great discussions all over the place about every topic, shutdowns, military readiness, and standards. James Carville turning into a dude and letting the Democrat Party have it. They won't listen to him. All those discussions we had today. People are so tired of it. It's like when you were talking about how the word racist, that just doesn't carry any meaning anymore because it's just been so diluted because everything, no matter what it is, everything is described as racist.
Did it not resonate in the last 24 hours as Donald Trump is taking other AI videos that have been sent his way and reposting them, and the left's like, well, that's bigoted and racist. I'm like, that's hilarious.
And it has their angle on it has only resonated with the 18%. That's it. The rest of the world's like, that's kind of funny. He was like, I know I'm not supposed to laugh, but it is funny.
Not only did you turn Hakeem Jeffries into Speedy Gonzalez, made him look exactly like that when then Hakeem Jeffries went on to MSNBC to complain about it, then suddenly here came the mustache and there was a sombrero, and then suddenly here's 4 Donald Trumps dressed as a mariachi band start playing behind him.
Isn't it terrible, though, that I've been trained, though? I even said it. I've fallen into that trap a little bit where I just said, I know I'm not supposed to laugh. Because that's been the catchphrase forever, right? I know I'm not supposed to laugh, but it's funny. And now you don't even have to say it. I don't even need to say that anymore. I can just laugh.
I just laugh.
In Trump's America,
that's funny.
You can laugh again. There is the ability to poke fun at oneself and to laugh. You know what? We now have the song.
A good reason to laugh.
We now have the theme.
All right, I sent this over. I'll just tell you. So I used AI to create, and now this applies to volleyball, but it's really about any parents out there that are spending on travel. So, sometimes it's dance, cheerleading competitions, band,
all of it,
all of
baseball,
this. And I encourage kids to be involved in so many things. I think if there's one difference we've seen with high school so far, there really is a difference between kids that are involved in a lot of different activities, sports or otherwise, and those that are not.
Mm-hmm.
And I highly encourage them. I want my daughters
as much as she can, as much as she has time for.
My oldest right now, she is a volleyball player. She is right now. She's going to be in the play. What is it? Elf.
Okay.
So she's one of the leads in Elf.
Sweet.
She's playing volleyball, and she got herself involved in chorus.
That's awesome.
So I'm like,
man.
So she's busy.
Busy's
good.
Absolutely.
I was like, my younger daughter, same thing. It's volleyball, it's chorus, and they have their tryouts next semester for whatever their school play is going to be. So it's like this is the stuff being busy.
Yes, good.
All right, so we decided to create an AI song that was strictly about how much money and time you commit and how crazy you are for doing so.
No, we got it.
Yeah, we do.
Of course.
Vox Pro.
Extra. Vox Pro.
Come on, Vox Pro.
Come on, baby. Come on.
Come on.
There we go. David will run out of cash.
Watching every circle kill, it's a total smash. By now you should have somehow realized what we've lost. Our free time's gone, it's all for volleyball at any cost.
Everybody knows that feeling.
I can't believe that anybody feels the way we do about our girls and all those courts we're traveling to.
Okay, here's the banger part.
And all the roads we drive, all the states we see, we've been volleyball
there's a part of the song a little bit later when it gets into we're spending money on entrance fees for tournaments that our daughters are playing in. Like, is that not the biggest racket when you go to any of these places?
Yes. And we're a little spoiled here because we're the flagship for Braves Radio. So there are tickets available to go to Braves games almost anytime you'd like to go.
Oh, I'm talking about when you have a tournament at, let's say, Lake Point.
Oh, I know. But that's my point. We don't pay to go see. I pay more to see my kid play than I do the Braves. We would make fun of that with regularity. You're paying, your kid is paying to play in the tournament, and then you're paying another fee to go watch your kid play in the tournament that they paid to be in.
Yeah, very rarely do we actually have like a free match you get to watch. Now, at the high school level, it happens a little bit more. It does. But I remember when we did AAUs this past year, girls had a great tournament, 4-day tournament, and you had the choice. You can spend $20 a day to keep getting in, or you can buy the pass that was like $65. Well, of course, now that's me and my wife. And then the excuse that we had was, all right, can we make our 11-year-old look like a 12 or 13-year-old? Well, let's put her in her A5 clothes so that we don't have to pay for her so she can walk in.
Dude, they're changing it up now, but Perfect Game used to have the colored bracelets that they would give you when you walked in. And I became a master of taking those off because the colors would eventually rotate.
Oh, that's nothing, man. We actually have to show the scannable ID.
That's coming to Perfect Game now.
With our IDs available. So you have to either pull it out or take a picture on your phone so that you get the QR code that I'm supposed to be there plus my ID to make sure it's me.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. And I think it's my understanding that's what Perfect Game was going to. But when Jacob was playing ball, that's what we did. That was our way of trying to save a couple extra bucks because you're like, good Lord, all I do is shell out money. Yeah. Free time is gone. It's volleyball at any cost.
It's volleyball at any cost. So yeah.
Every parent.
Club parents.
Yes. Can relate.
Let's have some fun with this thing.
Without a doubt. We'll keep you posted on Los's podcast with his sweet wife about volleyball.
I'm just trying to keep her busy, man.
Yeah, I know. It's good. What, idle hands? What do they say about idle hands?
Yes.
Devil's playground.
Devil's playground. They commit evil.
A stellar show today here on Xtra 106.3. Hope you've enjoyed it as well. If you missed any of it, go back and listen to it on the app. Otherwise, Beck is up next. For Los and Jure, I'm Tug. Y'all come back now, you hear?
Favorite Xtra shows are streaming live video from the studio on Xtra 106.3's YouTube channel. Subscribe to the Xtra YouTube channel and get the Morning Xtra and the Kimmer Show in live digital video.